Oh my goodness. We are on location. They've let us out of the cage, Jay Milne. The people with tranquilizer guns might be coming for us at any moment. But we are indeed from the historic Metro Cinema this afternoon. The Garneau, as a lot of us still call it.
Yes.
109th Street, 87th Ave. The ESTYs are here tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. What do we have? Doors at 6:15?
Doors at 6:15.
Right behind us is the backdrop. You can't see, but down below is a red carpet. People can walk and get their photos taken in front of the Edmonton Sports Talk Nielsen Show backdrop. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be giving out awards tonight to honor some of our listeners, some of our nasties, some of our favorite moments from year one of Edmonton Sports Talk, which, of course, will not include anything from this show because we joined for year two. But we are here on location, which is great. Very welcoming. They were great for having us set up, kind of do what we want, move things around. So this is pretty fun to be in this theater,
Fantastic,
which we'll talk more about throughout the afternoon. We've been going around the NHL, of course, too, with different storylines and just different great personalities. And Pete Weber from the Nashville Predators play-by-play booth is going to join us in a few minutes here. We do have Oilers news this afternoon. They announced that they have mutually parted ways with Assistant General Manager Brad Holland. Just a very brief statement from the Oilers this afternoon. President of Hockey Operations Jeff Jackson announcing that, well, they've mutually agreed to part ways to enable Brad Holland to pursue other opportunities. Holland, of course, the son of Ken Holland, the former GM who departed shortly after the Oilers lost the Stanley Cup final. Brad joined the team in 2019 scouting, became an assistant GM for, I guess, the offseason in 2022. And he is no longer with the team. I think probably Brad would, I mean, this just broke before the show, but I would think Brad would have loved to be a general manager someday. That opportunity to advance himself in Edmonton would not be on the table, at least for the time being, with Stan Bowman in charge. So I'm not hugely surprised to see this news. I guess maybe. Now, again, they're announcing it today. Doesn't mean it wasn't already decided.
Well, it's just
a while ago.
It's not part of the current group. He's the odd man out, right? I mean, that part of the Oilers is done with.
Right.
In with the new. So, is anybody surprised?
No, I wouldn't be hugely surprised at this.
I mean, they announced it on a Tuesday afternoon at 2:30.
And by the way, while it's the Oilers Media Golf Tournament,
and on
which Tom is at,
go figure, and on the day of the ESTYs.
And on the day of the ESTYs, can you believe it?
How dare you?
I believe we had Pete Weber standing by. Pete, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, gentlemen. How are you?
That's what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, we're just getting the sound coming in off that one. We will have Pete, I guess, in a second or two.
Can you guys not hear Pete?
I wasn't able to hear Pete. Sorry, Zach.
You should be coming through. Pete, can you try again?
Yes, I will try one more time. How you doing, guys?
Nothing on our end here.
All right, we'll get you on in a moment there. Sorry about that, Pete.
Okay.
Yeah, we had him before there when we were talking to him before the show. That's okay. Pete, an absolute, well, I don't think it's unfair to call him a broadcasting legend, given his long career and calling games for the Nashville Predators.
They heard Pete. We could not hear Pete.
Oh, we were the only people that couldn't hear
Zach,
Pete.
is there something that we need to do from our board here, like put a level up or something that is not up? You know what I mean?
Boys, I was going to call Iwanyk and get him to help you.
Okay.
I can't see the board there, so I cannot help out.
Well, we heard him before the show, and we were trying to get him. So we'll see if we can get him there. All right. If you want to check in, by the way, it is the EST inbox 780-218-9999, or jump into the nasty chat on YouTube. Thank you for everybody telling us that you could hear Pete. This happened to me. I remember once this happened to me on Overtime Open Line. Rob and I were in the broadcast booth at Rogers Place. And a caller called in, and it was a regular caller who was often sometimes a little surly. And I just couldn't hear anything. And I said, "Oh, well, you've never sounded better." And then Rob looks at me like, what are you doing? And I was the only person who couldn't hear him. And there was this series of 7 switches on the console there at Rogers Place. And one of them somehow got moved from up or down, or from down to up. And that somehow prevented me from hearing the phone call. So we quickly remedied that. But that was okay. We are live on location at Metro Cinema for the ESTYs coming up tonight, which is going to be an absolute blast. Jed Roberts is going to join us as well. We're going to dive into the Monday Night Football game from last night. The Elks continuing to prepare, well, I guess back on the field today, preparing to face the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Saturday. So that's a 5 o'clock game at Commonwealth.
I got shots fired already in the nasty chat here, Reid. Smith, I was not talking about Brock or Purdy as an elite quarterback. You had suggested that he was an elite running quarterback. Do you remember that discussion where we were talking about dual threat quarterbacks and you said Brock Purdy is a dual threat quarterback? I disagreed with you. I did not disagree that he's a great quarterback. So maybe that was just, caught in the
Yeah, the way I remember that was we were talking about running mobile quarterbacks who were dual threats. I wouldn't have Purdy up higher on that list.
Yeah, nobody would, I don't think.
And didn't the 49ers lose their
Not
last
saying
game?
Not saying he can't run.
I have found over the years, we're a Canadian city, so there's a lot of different NFL affiliations for fans. Yes, I suppose there's a lot of Buffalo because a lot of Buffalo games were on over the years, and in the 90s they went to 4 straight Super Bowls. Seahawks are close by. We get some Minnesota. But there's a lot of Dallas because they used to win a lot. There's a lot of San Francisco because of how dominant they were in the 80s and the 90s. And I have found that just from my previous job as well, that the Niner fans are really, really passionate. Like there was a gentleman, I think he was called West End Ron, and he was all 49ers all the time, super dedicated and super positive, which is fine. Absolutely. But yeah, I don't think you said that Purdy wasn't a good quarterback. I think you said as a threat to run, there were several quarterbacks, if not over half, who you'd put above him.
Yeah, we're talking about a
specific
skill set of running the football. Nobody in their right mind would think that Brock Purdy is in the top ranks of running quarterbacks in the NFL. It's just not right.
No.
Is he a good quarterback? Yes.
He's a good quarterback. Now, the Niners, again, have become, to me, one of the premier franchises, in the National Football League. They just haven't won a Super Bowl. They've been back. Didn't they lose the one to Baltimore? I know that was over 10 years ago when Kaepernick was there. They lost. They've been to the NFC Championship game, 2 or 3 times and lost, and then they've been into the Super Bowl against the Chiefs twice. So they've been around it, for over a decade now. Most of those years pretty good. And impressive about them, they've done it with a variety of different quarterbacks. So they had Kaepernick, his tenure there ended. Who else? Garoppolo was there. Trey Lance was supposed to be the next one, right? And then Purdy was Trey Lance was 3rd overall. It was Smith writing that in.
He was saying that Brock Purdy is elite.
Smith was Trey Lance 3rd or 4th overall. I believe he was either 3rd or 4th overall. And then he was supposed to be really good, and then he got hurt, right? And then they go down eventually to Purdy. And Purdy, he was Mr. Irrelevant.
That was the quarterback.
He was last
draft.
overall. Yeah. So they've done a great job. I will say that. I think they've become, to me, they're a top five franchise in the NFL. They just don't have the recent Super Bowl to back it up. But Purdy's very good.
Yeah, I don't know. Trey Lance,
you don't agree?
Got hurt. No, I agree about Brock Purdy, but I'm just, I'm kind of distracted right now.
Why?
There's so much going on here. We've got a fan blowing directly at our midsection.
Well, which we need because I'd be a mess. I'd be too sweaty, and then I'd be itchy.
It's pretty breezy down there.
And if I get sweaty and itchy, it's lights out for Wilkins. It's not good.
It's over. Smitty says 3rd overall. This is, I've never been in this theater. I've never been to the Garneau, now
which
called
is
the Metro.
Amazing to me.
Yeah. We met Shania, the day manager here. She's been taking care of us and offered us waters, and I had a nice refreshment. It felt good. But this what's going on here is nothing short of a miracle. I guess maybe not a miracle. Maddie is.
I think a miracle might be overstating it.
What?
Let's not give Matt that much.
No. I'm looking through. If you would look that way, you can't see it.
Oh, now I can.
The camera's here, but We're looking right into the theater, right into the screen. And if you are coming tonight to the ESTYs and you see Matthew Iwanyk, who I know will look stunning, he's an Italian Ukrainian. He'll dress well. Give him a high five. Give him a round of clicks. Round of clicks for Matty Iwanyk right now. This guy is blowing the doors off.
By the way,
I did it on one show.
Well, you started.
You know where it started originally, though?
EST thing.
When I started it as an EST thing, but I learned that back when I used to hang and roll with the Bears hockey guys. You know, the back in my day, it was the Tyler Shabunka, the John Hobson, the Brad Tuchek. You know, they were big rounds of clicks guys. So
okay, all right. I think now we have Pete Weber, which is great because we really want to have Pete. Pete, let's hope we can hear you. How's it going? Well, I don't know how. Oh God! We're getting that weird sound. We're getting that weird sound again. I don't know if people can hear him in listener land, in audience land, but we are getting something that
witness protection mode, I believe, is how it's best described.
Yes, people are telling us. People are telling us they don't hear Pete this time. Okay, well, we may have to reschedule Pete for another day, Zach, because I don't know what's going on. We're not. We don't want to keep him hanging all day because I think his window of availability was rather small. Even though we are on location, we are indeed in the James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm studio, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com today and book your private consultation. And 780-218-9999 if you want to get in touch on the EST inbox. Jump into the nasty chat. Email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com. For listening, you can get us, of course, on YouTube, on the iHeartRadio app, on the TuneIn app, or simply go to edmontonsportstalk.com and get the podcast wherever you can get your podcast, which is pretty cool. Boy, to see the Niners fans are going.
The Niners fans are speaking out, Reid.
Yeah.
Here.
We have one Niners fan named Smith and another one named Smitty.
That's is coincidence? Maybe it's the same guy.
Maybe it's Alex Smith. But he had a horrible injury, eh? Like, didn't he almost was in risk of losing his leg?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
He
terrible.
was playing for the then Redskins when I was, obviously, I'm a fan.
Is that when the leg issue?
Left hand up.
He'd already left the 49ers.
Yes. Yeah, it happened in Washington. It happened at the same spot that Joe Theismann had the exact same injury, in the exact same spot on the field, at the exact same time in the game clock of the game.
Is that true? That's an urban legend.
That is not. That is dead serious.
And then, in the process of him recovering from that injury is when did he get a flesh-eating?
He got an infection, and it nearly took his leg. Yeah,
it was terrible.
To this day, if you look at the images of his leg in recovery, it is.
I remember seeing him at the time.
It is not nice.
I'm not sure I need to go back and look. And he came back and played right after that.
Yeah, it was
incredible.
It was not the same.
Well, no, that'd be a hard injury to come back from. But yeah, Niners quarterbacks. Somehow, we will look at the Monday Nighter from last night as we go through our chat here. Of course, the Oilers getting ready for training camp. We're going to have my top three storylines for the Oilers going into camp. It is someone's birthday today. I don't want to say who yet. It's an NHL player who would not be popular with Oilers fans and is not popular with my mother. So some people will know who it is just from me saying that. But I want to look at this player's stats, and I want to also look at I was going to say fantasy, not a fantasy I had about this player. We're on a desert island. No, not like that. But something that I think it would have been really cool if it would have happened with this player. If he would have wound up on a different team than the one he wound up on. And I just think it would have added an interesting dynamic to the NHL and specifically to an Oilers rival. But I'm
intrigued.
I want to tease that and dive into that a little bit later.
Teasing me, Reid.
Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Okay. Bought me a coffee. You're teasing me now.
Bought me water. I went to a new coffee shop. It's above the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, great.
Jaffa? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
They didn't specifically have iced coffee, so I got you a cold brew. I thought that was the same thing.
It's not, but it's
is it
actually no.
Okay.
It's totally fine. I just like beverages cold. I'm not a hot beverage guy.
Really? Mm-hmm. You never drink hot coffee or hot tea?
I don't prefer
hot chocolate. Give me some cold chocolate.
Chocolate milk. Alternate, some people call it chocolate milk.
I guess that would be cold.
I guess hot chocolate's water based.
Somebody could make hot chocolate and then refrigerate it, freeze it.
That would be
and
weird.
Then serve it. Okay, we are on location, which is pretty fun. We're going to get into our off-topic topic as well, which sort of relates to the movies, since we're in a movie theater today. We're back in a couple of minutes. Reid Wilkins show with Jay Milne, live from the Garneau.
Assistant GM for the Oilers has been mutually agreed to part ways with the team. Let me try again. Assistant GM Brad Holland and the Edmonton Oilers have mutually agreed to part ways. Holland joined the team in 2019 as a scout before getting promoted to assistant GM and pro scout for the 2022-23 season. Esa Lindell has re-upped with the Dallas Stars, inking a 5-year deal worth just over $26 million. Esa Lindell was drafted back in 2012 and played his entire career so far with the Stars. Dolphins quarterback Tuga Tuivaloa has been placed on injury reserve. The 26-year-old earliest possible return is Week 8 against the Cardinals. Kareem Hunt returns to the Chiefs roster on their practice squad today. The 29-year-old running back was cut from the Chiefs 6 years ago before most recently suiting up with the Browns. Packers placed rookie RB Marshawn Lloyd on the IR. Lloyd was good for 6 carries and 15 yards this past Saturday against the Colts. Darius Pickett will miss the remainder of the season for the Red Blacks. The 28-year-old suffered an injury in the team's loss against the Tiger Cats this past Saturday. And just after the break, Reid and Jay will dive into the off-topic topic for William Huff, as well as Reid's top 3 for Fuge Sausages. I'm Zachary Kubish for your EST update.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always The Ranch. Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button. Thanks to Lee and the great Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Leonard Skinner with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
At A&W, you can start the morning off right with a regular coffee and an egger of your choice for just $4.99. Bacon and egger or sausage and egger on a seeded bun or an English muffin? The choice is yours. But we know it'll be tasty either way. And to make matters even more delicious, this offer is available all day. But don't snooze on this deal. An egger and a regular coffee for only $4.99 is a limited time price. Available at participating A&W restaurants in Greater Edmonton.
Get ready, Edmonton. The moment you've been waiting for is here. It's time to celebrate the best of the best with the ESTYs, as we honor everything from Edmonton Sports Talk's incredible first year. Join us on September 17th at Metro Cinema for an unforgettable night of excitement, laughter, and recognition. Tickets are just $10. Secure your spot by emailing matt@edmontonsportstalk.com. And after the show, let's keep the party going at Hudson's White Ave for the official after party. Mark your calendar, grab your tickets, and get ready to celebrate the best moments of EST. It's the ESTYs, September 17th.
Thanks a lot for checking out the show today. Look, Jay. Look, where am I going? Where am I going? No, I'm here.
Where are you going?
We are on YouTube.
Don't leave me.
Thanks a lot for putting up with us. And, of course, on iHeartRadio and on TuneIn. So we're at the it's Metro Cinema, but it's at what a lot of Edmontonians still commonly refer to at the Garneau. I was a little surprised you hadn't been here, because I just feel a lot of Edmontonians wind up here at some point. And you did go to the U of A. I mean, how far are we from campus? Like 3 blocks?
3 blocks, yeah.
Maybe not even. I remember, I believe in university, I saw Forrest Gump here. Like, it was after it had been out, and then, it kind of wasn't in theaters yet, but it wasn't available for rent yet, and they showed Forrest Gump. So I'm pretty sure I saw Forrest Gump here.
I would love
other
that,
movies
yeah.
When I was in university, because they'd show a variety of stuff, which was pretty fun. And then, oddly enough, last fall, so about a year ago, probably in October, well, it would have been in October, November, and December, I wound up here 4 times in a very short span. I saw, my friend really wanted to see a comedian, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, and I was trying to Google it, and I can't find it, and I think my friend is at work, so she probably can't reply to me. But I saw an Australian comedian here, relatively young guy, probably in his 30s, and he was doing a stand-up tour, and he had moved to LA, and he'd gotten a TV show that was on Netflix or some network or something like that. So we saw him. I saw a movie. Okay, quiz for pop quiz. Do you know who Kevin Martin is?
No,
not the curler. The Kevin Martin who owns the Lobby video store just down here. So it's on White Ave and 108th. Kind of just near that Royal Bank.
Yes.
It's in the base. I've talked about this place before. It's in the basement of a building, and he specializes in renting and selling alternative and horror video, like Blu-rays and discs. But he still has some VHS. I actually donated some VHS to him. That I think. Then there's I think a friend of his has a little satellite VHS store down there, and it's this crazy sort of Gothic looking place, but he's really friendly, and his name's Kevin Martin, the same as the curler. So he, with some creative buddies of his, made a movie called The Last Video Store. And it's about a 90-minute movie, and he plays the star, and there's some kind of cursed tape that gets put in his machine, and the creatures from the movies sort of come to life, and he has to fend them off in his video store. So that was shown here at the Garneau. About a little less than a year ago. So I was here for that.
Was it as bad as it sounds?
It was hilarious.
Was it but it was a spoofy horror?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. It was spoofy.
They knew it was bad.
They knew what they were doing.
It wasn't like serious.
No, it wasn't like we're actually trying to scare you. It was
then thumbs up.
It was, we know what we're doing here, and we're being very self-referential and referencing these other films. So I was there for that. I also saw a movie here called How to Ruin the Holidays. So in my travels on air over the past few years, I have referenced a improv duo, originally from Edmonton. Now they're in other parts of Canada, the United States, but they always come back for the Fringe. It's 2 guys. They call themselves Scratch, Kevin Galeese and Arlen Konopaki. And they made a movie. Kevin wrote it and Arlen directed it. It's called How to Ruin the Holidays. Colin Mockery is in it. He's the star.
I like him.
And so they had a screening, an Edmonton screening here at the Garneau. So I came to that. It was very good. Very funny, but also very touching. It's kind of about a somewhat dysfunctional family at Christmas time and some things that happen and they got to work through, but very good. And then it was right before Christmas. It might have been December 23rd or 22nd. Whatever the Saturday was before Christmas, they had a screening of Gremlins here.
Oh, cool.
And I had not seen Gremlins since I was a kid.
I wasn't allowed to see Gremlins as a kid.
You've never seen it at all?
No, because it was too much. My parents deemed it. I think one of my friends was going for a birthday party to the movie theater, and it was in the invite that we would be going to attend and see the movie Gremlins. And it was deemed as not appropriate for my eyes, so I did not attend the birthday party. And I have to double back and see it. I know, it's one of those movies you get to know just seeing it in pop culture and whatnot. Well, yeah, there's bits and pieces that you've seen, but I did not see it in full.
So it came out in 84. So I was 10 when it came out. So I didn't see it in the
fun.
theater. We would have rented it. So you would have been 2 when it came out.
Yeah. That's probably a little young for me at that
Well, your
point.
parents, there are more intense movies they could have worried about than Gremlins.
Oh, sure.
Though they're because even the stuff in Gremlins, it's the gore is done for comedic value.
Yeah,
I would
I'm
think.
sure
I
it's
mean, look,
harmless in
the most
hindsight,
famous
but-
scene is the mom puts a gremlin in the microwave and blows them up. So now I hadn't seen Gremlins since I was a kid, and I'd kind of forgotten, or maybe as a 10-year-old, I didn't realize how outright bizarre it is. I mean, the story sort of makes sense. It's almost more as if they thought, well, it would be cool to do a scene with this and the little creatures. Okay, well, what if we did this with and then, it has the little gizmo, the little cute mugwog driving around. Voiced by, you know who voiced Gizmo? Howie Mandel.
Oh, that makes sense.
Famous Canadian.
Yeah.
So I was here 4 times.
I find Howie Mandel annoying.
Really?
Yep.
You think I'm a germaphobe.
Oh.
Because that's what he won't even do a fist pump. He'll only do an elbow bump.
Yeah. No,
You're not gonna touch anything dirty with your
I
elbow.
just find him to be not genuine. Very much so like he's acting every time he speaks.
Well, maybe. I guess he's a product at this point.
Sure. He's been in it a long time.
I remember when I was a kid, he would do stand-up on some afternoon show, before I was in school. And he was so weird. I liked him because he'd do crazy voices. And he'd have a handbag. So it was a satchel, but it was had fingers. It was like, it's my handbag. So anyway, 4 times last year. Around this time last year. And then this summer, as I mentioned, last month, I was here for a Fringe show.
Yes.
Colin Mockery Live. So Kevin Galeese and Arlen Konopaki, who did the movie with Colin, got him to come and do a Fringe show here at the Garneau, absolutely packed.
Wow.
To the point that, I think I can tell this story now, even though I love the Fringe. Somehow, they incorrectly had the capacity of the theater in the computer.
Oh.
Because somebody asked me when I was doing box office, somebody said, can I get a ticket for Colin Mockery for tonight? And it came up, and the shows came up. It didn't say sold out. It said it said unavailable or something like that. And then another volunteer told me, oh yeah, something went wrong. So I think if anybody got free tickets, or if I paid for my ticket, but if I would have used the volunteer voucher, I think they would have said, sorry, you can't go. Seeing Mockery live was a treat. So it was sort of like, whose line is it?
Yeah.
He was the leader of the troupe, and a bunch.
I find him incredibly funny.
I find I love live theater, and I love stand-up comedy, good stand-up comedy, and I love improv.
Improv's great.
And you've done improv.
Yes, I did improv throughout high school. I did a little bit in college when I started at Grant MacEwan before I transferred to U of A. I love it. Get a comment, get a topic and run with it. And it's just it's freeing. It's a weird thing, but I really did enjoy it.
Now, were you good at it, or do you feel you got better at it?
It's a bit of an art for sure, and you have to have willing participants with you on stage. The worst thing you can do in improv is answer no,
right,
or say, "Hey, did you want to run down to the store with me?" Well, no, you can't do that.
You have to
keep the plot going.
Right.
Anything, and that's like, never say no, never say a negative. You always have to keep it going. So yeah, I did enjoy it. Now, Reid, I must say, in the EST inbox, there is a lot of comments here about Metro Cinema, or as some would know, Garneau.
Right.
Nature Boy says the annual showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show was a must-see.
Which is coming up. They have it on their website. I think it's on the 11th.
Well, Reid, I have the Metro Cinema.
Well, that's where
September
I saw it. There's
thing there. Yeah.
No, I was on the website earlier.
Okay, well, we can double check.
I've never seen Rocky Horror in a theater. I would like to. Friday, October 11th at 10.
Oh, this is
Saturday,
September.
October 26th at 1 minute before midnight.
But you can come by here and get this. They do it for every month, and then you have a calendar on the back that you can see what's coming up, what's live, what's happening. Because I will be here. I will be back. I want to come and take in something here, preferably like if they have like an old movie night, like what you said, Forrest Gump. Another one. I wish. This is Scout H.
Hey, Scout.
Fun fact: Arlen Konopaki directed a movie I was in for a college project he was working on. His mom was my drama teacher in grade 7 and 8. Small fact.
That's
Or
amazing.
small world. Isn't it a small world, Scout?
That's great.
H?
Somebody knew Arlen.
Well, you know what? It's funny. The world is a smaller place than some would think. The 16 degrees of separation.
That's deep.
Well, that's
the
improv.
world
Reid.
is a smaller place than some would think.
It is. It is.
Yeah. So if we were doing an improv scene, I would have to say something like, "Yeah, I'll
It's
never
really
forget
small.
that time we stumbled into Thailand," and then we do a scene about going to Thailand.
Remember the monkeys? My brother let me watch Gremlins when I was 4. It scarred me.
Yeah, maybe 4 would be too young for Gremlins. I'm sorry.
And that Owen guy, that's his handle.
That's his handle.
Owen guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an out-of-towner, and this is mine and my wife's first time going to Garneau. Super excited. Owen, it's mine and my wife's first time going to Garneau, too.
Well, she's not
coming.
here yet.
Mrs. Glue will be here.
Mrs. Glue.
And she will look stunning. I saw the dress.
Yes. Oh, did you? Okay.
Yes.
She is a very good-looking woman. Is it inappropriate for me to say that about her?
Not at all.
Life?
She's the most beautiful person in the world.
I feel like I hope you understand how I mean. I just mean this.
No, it's a compliment
of camaraderie. And everything. I also feel like she thinks I'm a very fine gentleman.
She loves you.
Thank you.
Loves that. She loves that you put up with me. She loves that you're bringing me along in this industry. You're holding my hand. What other things can I say here, Reid? It's good. It's a good relationship.
Howie's glove trick. Yeah, I remember something with that too. I am still to this day honored when I just talk about something and it connects with people.
Yes,
because this is a sports show on a sports station, and we will, but it's that time of year. We're not quite there. We're not quite
right.
where there's. So I'm going to have training camp.
Yeah. You got to play the hits for sure.
Certainly, we'll ramp up Elk stuff moving into Saturday. Oil Kings, by the way, start the season this weekend, but they're on the road. Their home openers next weekend. We've talked Bears football. We're going to talk Bears hockey, and we've had Pandas.
But this I'm excited
stuff
for.
On. So, but we're still in that thing where there's only so much previewing you can do. So we're going to do, and we're at the Metro, so we're going to talk about it. So it's really cool. People have either an excitement to come here or a memory of coming
we love
here.
it.
And plus, it used to be when I was a lad, like in the 90s, I was university and moving into my 20s and truly becoming a man, Jay. But you had this place and you had the Princess, and it was a fun little outing to go see a movie. And
the Princess was the one on White, right?
That's right on White,
okay.
right in the heart of White Ave there. I think it's now completely empty, which is sad.
Okay.
All right. So anyway,
this was born out of yesterday's show, by the way, too.
Yeah,
this was brought up yesterday.
You brought this up yesterday.
Yeah.
So we have our off-topic topic because we're in a movie theater, and because Jay brought it up yesterday, and we were like, "Why think of something new?"
Ho hum.
The off-topic topic presented by William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry experience and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website, williamhuff.com, or give them a shout at 780-454-4536, which makes me think the whole reason of inventing the telephone was so you wouldn't have to shout. But anyway, because we are in a movie theater, our off-topic topic is movies you can't pass by when you see that they're on TV. So
yes.
I was going to say when you're flipping channels, but I don't know if anybody really flips channels anymore. You bring up the guide and you're going through the guide and you see.
Everybody knows the feeling.
Or you see, okay, this movie is half over half over.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to flip to it. Maybe I'll watch the rest of it. Maybe I'll watch for 5 minutes. I did that with Die Hard the other day. It was near the end.
You did.
It was near the end, and we didn't stay till the yippee-ki-yay end.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
Right. McLean. Do not change the channel, McLean. He always had that walkie. I love Hans Gruber. He always had that walkie-talkie. Yeah. And it's like, it almost felt like he was holding it awkwardly close to his mouth.
Walkie-talkie was big. That was
McLean,
like a weapon.
I have had enough of your games, McLean. So anyway, the movie, when you're flipping through, you can't resist just flipping to it and checking out where it is, or if there's a scene coming up, or maybe watching the rest of it. Do you want? We can give one each here.
Okay. First off, hit us up on the nasty chat, the PM nasty chat, or at the EST inbox 780-218-9999. I'm going to be keeping a lot of these tallied up here, and whenever we can, we're going to have a winner, and then we'll try to get the director of that film on the show. Yes. We'll try. Sure. Well, the first thing that came to my head as a movie when we suggested this topic was Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, interesting.
If Shawshank Redemption is on, I have a hard time, and my wife knows this. There's two, Shawshank and Casino. If either of those movies come on, night's over. Sorry.
Oh. Do you own either one of them and still watch them on TV?
No.
Okay. So you actually gave 2.
I did.
Okay, I'll give. Well, you can go on if you want.
Reid, I have I had a list. I had.
Well, since you were really excited. This is the most you've ever been excited about a topic. So I was like, he's probably got 40 movies.
Eugene Pisky in the nasty chat said Goodfellas. That's another one.
Speaking of profanity.
Oh boy. Keep them coming. They are lighting up. Reid, what do you got?
Am I a clown to you?
Yeah. What do I make you laugh?
Well, mine's the first one that always comes to mind for me is Aliens.
Oh wow.
The second one.
See, and I just don't find that to be on enough.
Cameron directed one. Now, I also have it on DVD. I have the Alien quadrilogy that they put it on DVD about 20 years ago. I don't think I've ever watched all 4.
Quadrilogy?
Right, because it was Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection, which is not very good.
Reid, this one's popping off. This is happening.
Nasties are popping off.
Yeah, okay, we'll get to a couple here, but keep them coming in. Adam the Hat says the number 1 movie for me that I can't pass by when scrolling is The Mummy. I've seen it.
That's a fun movie.
I've seen it.
That is a fun movie.
That's up there. That plays.
All the little bugs, the beetles.
Yeah, close second, and I've been sucked into this one too, is Men in Black. Because you got to remember, these got to be movies that are on the AMC, like that are regular.
Yeah, they got to be fun.
I think I forget who it was yesterday. Maybe if somebody said Forrest Gump, I mean that's good. Big Slam Nasty, 8 Mile for sure, because I know that the ending will.
Oh, I've never seen
with the rap paddles is the best part.
Okay.
That Owen guy, he shares my sentiment with Shawshank, and Shawshank is getting. It is getting quite a bit of love.
Excellent movie.
It is a great movie. And Eggnog Nights? The hell is Eggnog Nights?
I'm not aware of a film called Eggnog Nights. Maybe that's a typo.
Googling Eggnog.
Maybe
Nights.
it's supposed to be.
Maybe it's Boogie Nights, and it autocorrected.
Can you imagine?
It must be.
Hey everybody, come over. We're gonna watch Eggnog Nights, and then it's Boogie Nights about a guy with an amazing appendage.
It's gotta be.
We are at the Metro Cinema. The ESTYs are tonight. Matthew Iwanyk is the mastermind behind all of this. He will join us a little bit later on.
So Maddie will be joining us, just to give everybody a little tease here. Maddie will be joining us at 5 o'clock.
Okay, good.
He's going to go put on his Sunday best, or maybe he will, maybe he won't. I'm not sure. Okay.
All right.
Hey, Matt, what's one movie, if you see it when you're going through the guide on your TV, what? No. What's one you won't pass by? Give us one. Godfather. Okay.
Which one?
Okay.
One?
Goodfellas, Casino. They're all in here.
They put a horse head in the guy's bed.
All right.
Oh, wow.
We'll save those. All right. We got to take a break. We will dive into some Oilers training camp stories, which I think people want to participate in this, because I'm going to have my top 3 Oilers training camp stories. And we are going to touch on the Monday Nighter, on what your family named your duck, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right.
We're off and running at Metro Cinema. Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. The Coupe Sports Update. Go now.
The Edmonton Oilers are moving on from assistant GM Brad Holland. Brad Holland, the son of former Oilers GM Ken Holland, joined the team back in 2019. Canucks forward Dakota Joshua will miss the start of training camp, requiring surgery to a cancerous lump. The 28-year-old signed a 4-year, $12 million deal this past summer after scoring 18 goals and 14 assists during 63 appearances. Asa Lindell has re-upped with the Dallas Stars, inking a 5-year deal worth just over $26 million. Lindell has been a Star for his entire career and has played in over 600 career games. Dolphins quarterback Tagovailoa has been placed on injury reserve. The 26-year-old's earliest possible return is in Week 8 against the Cardinals. Kareem Hunt returns to the Chiefs on their practice squad. The 29-year-old running back was cut from the Chiefs 6 years ago before most recently suiting up with the Cleveland Browns. Packers placed rookie RB Marshawn Lloyd on the IR. Lloyd was good for 6 carries and 15 yards this past Sunday against the Colts. In the Canadian game, Darius Pickett will miss the remainder of the season for the Red Blacks. The 28-year-old suffered an injury in the team's loss against the Tiger Cats this past Saturday. Coming up next, just after the break, Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne will dive into Reid's top 3 for Fuge Sausages, talking about the top 3 stories coming out of the Oilers training camp, or the Young Stars Classic. Sorry about that. Just after, I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date on EST.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Few of us can say that we're over 60 and still hot, but Mr. Mike's Burger can. And to celebrate over 60 years of Mr. Mike's famous burger, you're invited to taste history for only $8.99 at Mike Burger Madness. Savor the original flame-grilled Mike Burger on their signature garlic French loaf for a limited time. Dine-in only price of just $8.99. Sides extra. It's Mr. Mike's Mike Burger Madness, and you'd be mad to miss it. Offer ends September 30th. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Oh, we're here. Don't sewer yourself. We're live.
We're live. Did people hear me talking to Matt? That's fine. I was asking who he's bringing to the ESTYs.
F it, we'll do it live.
All right. This is fun.
This is.
The ESTYs are tonight at 7. We are at, where are we at? Metro Cinema, 109th
The Metro Cinema, but it's
people
actually
can still come.
Well, it's hit and miss because Maddie's busier than you know what right now, and you had your chance.
Okay.
So if you want to show up and maybe give cash at the door, I think maybe that can happen.
I don't know if there's a provision to get people in or not.
And Caster 1990 did say, and I just confirmed with Shania, it is the Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater.
That's the full name. Okay.
Like the old Silver City Theater at West Edmonton Mall.
Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater. That's cool.
And she said the Metro Cinema Society, I think, is the not-for-profit.
It used to be downtown, I think. The Metro Cinema, I thought used to be in a space in the Citadel or something like that, and then they came here. So it's still the Garneau Theater then. Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater, which is cool. This is a great spot. So if you're coming tonight, for any nasties out there, we have if you're on YouTube, there's a red carpet behind us, and then we have our EST backdrop. So you come in, you get a photo.
This table's going to be gone. There's going to be a professional photographer here, videographer.
Oh, really?
Yes. And
do you know who it is?
I think so. I think it's a very good person. I think it's a person that does this professionally.
Oh, so, good. Okay.
They've offered us their time. So, this will be all gone. So this will be the place to get your photos, pictures. I know I'm going to want to take a picture. You
know what the highlight of this day for me so far is? As much as I love being on location, and I love that there's the ESTYs, and I love there's going to be nasties here tonight, the highlight of the day for me is that you found a fan. Because I would have been a sweaty, red, like my whole body would have just been a heat rash. Like it wouldn't have been.
You were already getting upset. Yeah. You were.
If I get hot and itchy, it's done.
So Reid left. We both met at the station this morning, which is on the West End, because we knew that, maybe we'd have to help up Maddie set up and do some things here. So we didn't want to have to do too much prep here. So we got there early and prepped. And then you went home and you said, hey, I'm going to take an Uber to the theater.
Yes.
Which is a great decision. If you're going to have a couple beverages tonight, do not drink and drive. Be responsible. So I said, you know what, Reid? I'll come pick you up.
Yes.
And he said, oh, no. I'll Uber. And I said, no, I insist. I will come pick you up, which I did. So, went by your place, got you. And then we had to go on a milk run to get the red carpet, which was a story in itself. We'll get to it.
Okay.
But Reid, we got onto, we're heading out of downtown, and he says, man, he's like, I run hot. Like, we got to turn the air conditioning up. And I'm like, the air conditioning's on. I don't understand. Well, whenever my daughters, because I run hot too, but whenever my daughters are in the car with me, they shut the vents on the front. So all the air conditioning is only coming out my side because they find it too cold. So I opened them up for you, turned on the cooled seat.
Yeah.
And I said,
never had that before.
Yeah. And I said, you're going to feel like you're peeing your pants if it's the first time you've been on a cooled seat.
Yeah.
Sure enough, he said, oh, I just felt that.
Yeah. There it was.
So we went to a rental place to get these to get this red carpet, which is right behind us. Maybe I'll hold the camera up at one point, but go in the front door. Hey, we're here from Edmonton Sports Talk to pick up a red carpet. Oh yeah, sure. Go around to the back at the warehouse. They'll help you out. Okay. Go around to the back. Well, actually, it's not at this warehouse. It's at the warehouse. And she handed me a map of, what seemed to, okay, there's a road over here.
Right.
So we take the road, and I thought, okay, this is a joke. It's not a road. It's
you went behind the Alley Cat Brewery.
Going through the back of a warehouse space. Reid and I both thought, if we didn't know where we were and you just dropped us in this spot, we would say, oh, we're driving to somebody's cabin in the middle of the woods. Like, that's what it was very weird. Pull up on this other warehouse, and then boom, there's a place that has all this.
Quite a large warehouse.
Huge. Yeah, it was. It was a
little bit like the lab they built in Breaking Bad, and
yes, that's right.
And what was the other one? Better Call Saul. I felt like, is this a cover for something?
Guaranteed, there's a meth lab under that building. Guaranteed. That is exactly what. Now back to your off-topic topic presented by William Huff. This is, McLovin is in. He said he's got some great ones here. Silence of the Lambs. Yes. Armageddon. Yes.
Oh.
Jason Bourne, the Bourne Identity. Yes. Like, that is a no-brainer. You cannot turn off the TV.
Is McLovin coming tonight?
I don't know, McLovin. Are you coming tonight?
Did I meet McLovin? I don't know. I can't remember who I met at the Nasty Bash.
I've seen this one a lot, and chime in and let us know what your handle is, but have to make sure Happy Gilmore is part of this conversation. And I am here for all the Happy Gilmore conversation in the world. I still think it's one of the best comedy movies of my era. You could put it up with Old School, Happy Gilmore, Wedding Crashers I really liked.
Right.
That's the kind of genre that was hot when I was coming up. Derek, mine's going to be The Shawshank Redemption, no matter which part of the film it's at. I'm tuning in. Additionally, my father always tunes into A Few Good Men. Always watches it, even with 15 minutes left. That Colonel Jessup court scene is one he can never miss.
I like watching that scene just on YouTube.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Is that the You Can't Handle the Truth?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never seen it. So, Plumber Topher, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Little Nicky. Obviously an Adam Sandler fan.
Loves the Sandler.
No, Owen says. Because remember Owen said, another vote for Shawshank and Eggnog Nights.
Right.
So this is how in tune our listenership is, Reid. We talked to our guest that was on from Colorado. Or no.
Yeah. Yesterday?
No. Who was the guy earlier in the week? And forgive me for that he had a picture of eggnog at the grocery store.
Well, the only other person we had this week was Connor McGahey from Colorado.
No,
was it last week?
Last week. Sorry. Anyways, I asked him about his eggnog likings because he posted a picture of it on Twitter. And that's where he said, another vote for Shawshank and Eggnog Nights. He says, no, you drink eggnog and watch Shawshank.
Oh, that's what he meant.
He meant.
Drink eggnog while you watch Shawshank Redemption. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, man. And Peter Ring chiming in, before, and this is, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because there's Twisters, the second version of Twister, but Twister Maximum Overdrive.
Well, I think Twister is one of the best tornado movies with a cow and a twister ever made.
And Joelle wants to chime in and said, Reid, you will not see me there tonight.
Because didn't Joelle tell us she lives in Ontario?
She lives in Ontario.
And is an incredibly loyal listener.
Very. One of the best.
I got to get used to the video aspect of it.
I think she runs the Discord, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. The off-topic topic, the movie you can't pass by when you see it's on television.
It is funny. Like, I literally Googled Eggnog Nights. Like, I've never heard of this movie.
We should make it. We'll write the screenplay for
man. Can you imagine? Eggnog Nights.
Yeah, well, it would be a horror movie if I ever.
I know, but I'll write the score.
That's great.
Yeah. And it would start with Eggnog Night.
Yeah, we'd have, when we get Kenny Loggins to perform it.
Obviously.
Since he did every soundtrack in the 80s, I think. All right, 780-218-9999 is the EST
Sorry,
inbox.
Joelle. Sorry, Jen.
What happened?
Jen runs the Discord. Jen Cool runs the Discord.
Hey, Jen.
My apologies.
Is Jen coming tonight?
I don't know.
We don't know. All right. Appreciate the participation in the off-topic topic, which we will get more of throughout the show. I think people will want to dive into what.
Well, speaking of Jen Cool, she passed along her thoughts.
A lot of people have movies.
Dude, this is popping off. Yeah. Horrible Bosses. Yes. Hall Pass. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. They're all classics.
Okay. I'll give another one.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers.
Sure.
That's such a good movie.
Now, the thing is, it's funny because I think that there's only a certain handful of these that are perpetually being put, in your face on those channels like AMC or
because they know people will stop and watch.
Because they know.
People don't want variety. They just want the stuff they like over and over again. And one thing that people like is Fuge Sausage, and they hopefully like Reid's Top 3, presented by Fuge Sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat. Locally made and packed full of flavor. You can go to their store. We drove by it today, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. You get 10% off your order by entering the online code EST, or even if you just mention Edmonton Sports Talk in store. And there's free delivery in Edmonton on orders over $100. As Fuge Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. And I think this is another topic. This is an on-topic topic, a timely topic that people will probably participate in as well. I'll have mine. You'll have one or two or three. And I'm sure
probably not.
I'm sure Oil Country will have many as well.
That's not good for improv, you prick.
Jay will just be like, I don't know what's going on. Top 3 storylines for the Oilers going into training camp.
Okay.
So here we are on the eve of training camp. It does start tomorrow with medicals and physicals. They're on the ice with a couple of sessions on Thursday. I'll be going to the morning session, then I'll be going to EST to do. I'm doing 2 guys and a goalie that day, and then obviously this show. So I won't be able to go to the afternoon session. So top 3 Oilers training camp storylines, and I think some of these we've sort of discussed to some extent. But I think number 1 for me has to be what is up with Evander Kane. What are we going to find out or be told? I guess the status of Evander Kane would be storyline number 1, right? What Speck said a few days ago, he's supposed to have surgery in about 10 days. Well, that would be about 6 or 7 days now. Then, how long is he out? How severe was the injury that he's getting? I mean, some sort of sports hernia. Well, a sports hernia. And then how long is he going to be out? Do the Oilers put him on long-term injured reserve? Is there fallout from that in getting another player? Could he be out the entire season? And some of these questions might not even be answered during training camp, but I would think during training camp, we would get some sort of, okay, Evander had surgery and we won't see him on the ice before November 27th, or pick a day. I would think that will be something that will happen. And to me, I think that is a pretty big storyline for the Oilers in training camp. Because I should say this, and I know I remember when Mac T kind of made fun of me once. He said, "Oh, you media guys act like the team's already picked before camp, but it's not." Now, having said that,
yeah,
is the first line center spot available? Is the off-wing right side shooter on the power play spot available? You'd have to do something pretty special to supplant Leon or Connor. So that's why these storylines are not. I know Connor McDavid's a marquee player in the league. Connor's probably going to play 3 or 4 preseason games. Quite frankly, I don't care how many points he gets. I don't care how interested he looks in the preseason.
Well, it's not. It's not uncommon for as you move further down the lineup where you don't have as much depth or as much certainty at that position for there to be some questions.
And you're a better team, which the Oilers are still. Should be a very good team. So these are going to be a little more.
I feel like I should join you. I feel like we're out for a coffee.
Well, we are actually.
So
this is really good coffee.
It is good.
Not a big. I toast you.
So week's going good.
Milne. Week's going good. Oh, you should see this guy I work with.
I've heard him on the radio.
So, Evander Kane, that's a storyline. So I'm not getting into how many goals will Jeff Skinner score in the preseason. I don't care.
In the preseason?
Yeah, that's why these aren't my. That's not a training camp storyline. If I were doing regular season storylines, sure, but I don't want to do those till we get into the regular season. Or, we'll do stuff like this before the regular season starts. So my number one training camp storyline for the Oilers is, what are we going to find out about Evander Kane? What's his status?
I think we know what we're going to find out. Maybe it's better phrased as when are we going to find out?
I guess when and details.
Sure.
So are they going to say he had surgery back in 4 weeks? Or are they going to say he had surgery on long-term injured reserve, won't be back until March 1st at the earliest? It's stuff like that, I guess. But just that status and then the fallout from it. I'll get to my other two. You can contribute yours as well. Jed Roberts is going to join us. We're live at Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
Fuge Sausage makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Get your 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in store at 6736 99th Street, or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders over $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausage. You can't beat our meat.
The Edmonton Oilers are moving on from assistant GM Brad Holland. Brad Holland, the son of former Oilers GM Ken Holland, first joined the team back in 2019. Canucks forward Dakota Joshua will miss the start of training camp, after needing surgery to remove a cancerous lump. The 28-year-old re-signed with the team on a 4-year deal this past offseason after recording 18 goals and 14 assists in 63 games for the Canucks. Edmonton Elks wide receiver Herji Mayala did not practice today and was out with a calf injury. while RB Javon Lake was out of practice with non-football related reasons. The Elks are back in action this Saturday against the Blue Bombers with kickoff at 5. Join Jay Milne and Matthew Iwanyk at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for the Green and Gold kickoff show for all the Elks games this season. The Green and Gold kickoff show starts at 4 p.m. down on Fort Road. Dolphins quarterback Tuga Tuivaloa has been placed on the injury reserve. The 26-year-old suffered a concussion last week against the Bills, and his earliest return is Week 8 against the Cardinals. And right now, we'll get back to Jay Milne and Reid Wilkins down at the Metro Garneau Theater, where the ESTYs will be held as they continue on with Reid's top 3 for Fuge Sausages. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
All right. Hope you're having a great afternoon. 3 minutes after 4, along with Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, as we are live from Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater, where the first ever ESTYs will be tonight, and it's going to be a blast as we'll be honoring moments, audience members, and shows from the first year of Edmonton Sports Talk, which I guess went from the beginning of last September until the end of this August, roughly.
That's right.
Before our show started up. All right. So
we got to read this.
Yeah,
one,
we
right?
got to do that first.
So in the nasty chat, this Eggnog Night screenplay is really coming into form as this show goes on. One Christmas night, a lonely farmer was milking his cow next to the chicken coop when a noise startled the cow and kicked the farmer into the coop, breaking eggs, leading to the creation of Eggnog Nights.
That's awesome.
That was from Brandon Patricio. That's fantastic. That's a trailer.
If you send us a text or in the nasty chat tomorrow, can you just maybe put just say see you tonight if you're coming, so we can get a sense of who we're going to be able to talk to tonight too.
And if you are watching and listening on our YouTube stream, we are well ahead of pace here, Reid. Oh my gosh. No, this time flies by. We're going to blow out our high score of 108. We're already at 73 thumbs up.
Oh,
so
the likes on.
If you are listening, if you are watching, hammer that thumbs up. Let's these are, now they're rookie numbers. We're going for bigger numbers. So Reid, before we left, you were doing your top 3 Oilers training camp storylines for Fuge Sausage. This is Reid's top 3 Oilers training camp storylines. Number 1 story was, when are we going to hear more about Evander Kane?
What do we find out? What's the fallout?
And I think that's fair.
Kane-related stuff.
I think that would be one that would be on a lot of Oilers fans' minds. Number 2, please.
All right, and this will be related to some on-ice stuff, because I do think so I was saying before, there are certain players I really am not concerned about how they look in the preseason. They're on the team. They're probably going to be awesome or do their job exactly in the regular season. I know they want to use preseason games to get some competition and get up to speed. But as I said earlier, if Connor McDavid has 3 preseason games under his belt and gets 1 assist, I'm not going to freak out about where the points are. But I do think there are some players that want to make sure they get off to a good start and that are competing for ice time and are looking to prove that they're that they belong in the NHL and on the Oilers roster. And again, I think it is, as you alluded to this a few days ago, if Kane isn't playing, who's a player that there's opportunity for? Well, Vasily Podkolzin. So I think his performance in the preseason will be something that I'll be watching. Can he play with power? Can he get to the net? Can he pot a few goals or at least generate some chances? And again, I just was double checking his stats here. That rookie year with the Canucks in 2021-2022, he played 79 games. He had 14 goals and 26 points. I mean, I think if he did that for the Oilers in the regular season, that would be a pretty good year.
You would take that all day.
Because he might not be in the top. We probably wouldn't be in the top 6, even if there's something available.
Well, he's not a top 6 player.
Maybe he'd get a smattering of shifts there.
If you have a 4th line winger chipping in like that,
bottom 6 player,
you're happy.
Gets to 14 goals and 26, 30 points or whatever. That'd be a pretty decent year. But then, of course, his trajectory, 7 points in 39 games, and then last year mostly in Abbotsford, and only had 2 points in his 19 NHL games. Now, he was, just recapping the news about him, he was stretchered off the ice in a game last year. So is there anything pending from that? Sometimes players takes them a while to bounce back from an injury, or it just changes how they, I'm not saying I know with this guy, but how they feel about playing hockey or the dangers involved with playing hockey. But to me, that would be a player I would actually watch in the preseason. Like, for example, a couple years ago, remember Virtanen came here and all that other stuff with him aside, which was part of the story. And I understand that's why some Oilers fans didn't want him on the team. But, how was he playing? Could he shoot? Could he get to the net? So him I was watching in the preseason, and really I think he might have got a goal, but really he didn't stand out that much. Harder roster to crack. He ultimately, I think he was on a PTO, I believe. It was released from his PTO. But Coles is not on a PTO. He's in the organization. But again, and these are kind of connected. The fallout from Kane, well, how long is he going to be out? How much of a window does that create for someone like Podkolzin or another forward pushing to possibly grab a spot? And he's the guy that would identify as having that possibility. So I think in my mind, he'd be a guy, maybe you see him in 6 of the 8 preseason. Well, he can't play more than 7. They play 8, but 2 are on the same night because of the split squad. So he could play maybe 6. Maybe he plays all 7. And you kind of see what you have, how he looks, how engaged he is, and can he finish?
That tells you a lot about preseason hockey when you can have a split squad game on the same night. One half is down there, one half's up here. I mean,
they haven't done this for a while.
That's incredible.
I don't think it's happened since before the pandemic, but I know a few years hosting the games, and it was always with Calgary, and it is again this year.
Yeah, well, it has to be.
So we'd broadcast the game in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And then we would just give the score from the game. But sometimes it'd be cool because on Overtime Open Line, someone would write or text in and say, I actually went to the game in Calgary. And Rob and I would be like, great, you be the reporter.
You've got the mic.
We weren't there, but yeah, well, there's enough for 2 teams early in camp. And then so that's what'll happen, right? So some players, probably a lot of younger players, will
go down
the Sunday game against Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Many of them will play again the next night, and then there'll be a round of players reassigned probably after those games in Calgary, and maybe you're down to 30, 32, something like that.
So lots of people are chiming in and saying that they will see us tonight. So that is working. I'll get to all those as well. But before we do, you've got Evander Kane, and these are not necessarily ranked in any order.
No, I don't really do a ranking for the top 3.
Vasily Podkolzin,
yeah,
as your second Oilers training camp storyline.
Yeah.
Hit us with number 3.
Well, you probably know what it is because we've talked about it too. Right.
You'd be surprised.
Right side D. So Bush. Cece's gone. Big Vinny's gone. Broberg's gone, who I know shot left, but could play over there. So how and so this is another thing that how they line up on opening day early in the season could be based on how well they play in the preseason. Again, if Derek Ryan has more points than Connor McDavid in the preseason, they're not going to be flopping spots.
Yeah.
But if Ty Emerson comes in and is absolutely lights out and efficient and physical and solid in the preseason, that might raise an eyebrow for the coaching staff, saying like, oh, he's not 15, 16 minutes a night. We think he can play 19 or 20.
And
to start.
We're going to have to try to get Pete Weber on from Nashville again, because this was something that I really wanted to ask about. Was, this name Dante Fabro, who's playing for Nashville right now.
Right.
That name has come up several times in trade talks because they're up against the cap issue as an issue as well. So it might leave a player like that accessible. And if a player like Evander Kane is going on LTIR, you're going to have a little bit of flexibility there that may be able to put a Band-Aid on something that is clearly a wound at this point. So I we'll have to get him on and ask him that, because that is a question. Defensive depth, right shot D.
Yeah,
it's so much so lacking right now.
So Emberson, Stetcher, Brown, Josh Brown. Could they move Dermott over there? Philip Kemp, a guy who's been on the farm for a while. So that would be my third. Who do they have on the line combination sheet? Which site is that again?
Well, they got Ekholm and Bouchard, Nurse and Emberson, Kulak and Stetcher.
Kulak and Stetcher together. So
that's not great.
That's not as good as last year.
No.
And I know CC. CC really had his detractors.
He did. But there's a lot of unknowns here, right?
There are always, yeah. So that's
Emerson's to Oilers fans.
He's still an unknown.
Relatively unknown.
I think he's an unknown.
But he did get a glowing review
from Drew
Remenda.
Yes,
and Drew Remenda actually said that he will thrive more in a more of a background role, down the defensive lineup.
But if he's the second best defenseman, he's not on the right side. I mean, he's not going to play as much as Bush, so we know that.
Well, that's just not going to
happen. But the right side's not as... I mean, Ekholm, Nurse, and Kulak, that's a good left side. And again, I know whenever you say anything even borderline complimentary about Nurse, some people get mad.
No. I think
that's a good left side.
But Reid, Oilers fans would love to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that, and maybe that's in the cards this year, is where he can actually play above his
I considered putting him as a storyline, but it doesn't sound like the injury is serious enough. It's going to keep him out for a long time. He just is going to probably not play a lot or at all in the preseason. The left side, there are more question marks because you don't have Emberson is not a proven NHLer. Stetcher, I think we sort of know what he is, and that's to me third pairing. Top. I think he's competitive. I think he'll get out there and hit and get involved.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think that's something he's great at. And that's why Dermott is here. And if he can play the right side, we'll find out more about that. But that would be my third storyline. And again, a position set I would put a little more weight on when watching preseason games. Again, if Bouchard doesn't score a power play goal in the preseason, oh well. If Emberson can't handle the puck and Stetcher can't get the puck out and Dermott looks overmatched and Philip Kemp doesn't look like he's taken a step and Josh Brown doesn't look like he can play, then okay, that's a problem. That's why that's a storyline for me to follow.
No, I think that's great.
Gave the worst case scenario.
And that's giving some insight into maybe some things that fans can watch to try and liven up these games that are, ultimately just for most of the players that are involved, it's just going through the paces, getting your legs ready. But there are some interesting, storylines, lineup, combinations that, could create some discussion, controversy. Name, call it what you want.
Yeah. But this is different than about 6 or 7 years ago when it was who was going to be McDavid's right winger. Was it going to be Puljujärvi or Ratty or Alex Chiasson?
Yeah, a little different. Thankfully,
Chiasson was fun to watch. That one year he got over 20 goals on a PTO.
We are in the nasty chat here. Kevin Van Dazzlar, Dash at Heavy Hockey, Caster 1990, Ash Muggs, VR Montenegro. Itchy is scratchy. Who will be selling tickets at the door? Nobody.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Rob from the Grove. I wish I could come. Post pics, please. Nobody's selling tickets at the door. We've had
Matt's glaring at me.
2 months to get tickets. I bring $10. Come say hi to Matt. He'll do it. I will always. This is from Dash at Heavy Hockey.
I know. I was on Dash's podcast.
Well, he'll be here tonight too.
Oh, good.
I will always give Nurse the benefit of the doubt. He's paid millions of dollars above his contract while on those. Okay, he played millions of dollars above his contract while on those bridge deals before he ever extended. Yeah, sure. So I guess what Dash is saying, that this levels out.
And that's the point I was making.
Now he's playing millions of dollars below his contract.
Right. So
could use an even up.
By the way, Crosby.
9.25.
Yeah.
He's worth not $2 to $2.5 million less than that right now.
Yeah, probably. But
Right.
like I said, he was always getting at least 8 on
And
that
Plummer
deal.
Topher, we see you as well. We will see you tonight. But you were going to say.
What was I going to say? Oh, well, the Crosby 8.7 thing.
Yeah.
It's just, we looked it up yesterday and then we didn't use it. What was he, 14th in scoring last year?
Yeah.
So
Well, you
is
said
he
30
still underpaid even at 30?
I don't know. I think that's right in the wheelhouse. I mean, inflation aside from when he started
he was definitely
this stuff.
underpaid on that but he signed one of those long deals when you could sign for longer than 8 years.
Yeah.
But I still say he gets a free pass for the 8.7 for taking below his market value because of the superstition, which I find kind of frustrating.
Do you still think he's worth 8.7? Is that right in the wheelhouse now?
I think that's probably still close to where he is.
Clearly before, in younger years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 39 years old now.
I mean, you were 14th in scoring in the NHL.
Yeah.
That's pretty elite. That is pretty elite. I still got to get to my guy who it would have been neat if another team would have drafted him other than where he went to. I want to get to that as we roll along. You can send in your off-topic answer for William Huff. What movie, when it's on TV, can you not resist watching, or you need to stop and watch it for at least a few minutes? We will find out what the Milne family named their duck.
Mm-hmm.
And Jed Roberts, a weekly featured guest here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. That's coming up in a couple of minutes.
The Oilers are moving on from assistant GM Brad Holland. Brad Holland, the son of former Oilers general manager Ken Holland, joined the team back in 2019. Canucks forward Dakota Joshua will miss the start of training camp after needing surgery to a cancerous lump. The 28-year-old re-signed with the Canucks on a 4-year deal this past offseason after recording 18 goals, 14 assists in 63 games. Edmonton Elks wide receiver Herjin Mayala did not practice today and was out with a calf injury, while running back Javon Leake was out of practice as well with a non-football related reason. The Elks are back in action this Saturday against the Blue Bombers with kickoff at 5 o'clock. Join Jay Milne and Matthew Iwanyk for the Green and Gold kickoff show down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for all the Elks games this season. That show starts just an hour before the action at 4 p.m. down on Fort Road. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has been placed on injury reserve. The 26-year-old suffered a concussion last week against the Bills, and his earliest return is Week 8 against the Cardinals. This sports update has been brought to you by Wheeler's RV Storage. Conveniently located 5 minutes east of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV is your safe and secure place to store your RV, boat, or whatever it is you want to store. Visit them at wheelersrvstorage.com to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months, get one free. Go to wheelersrvstorage.com today and get your storage needs taken care of. And just on the other side of the break, Jed Roberts, Double E alumni, will be joining Reid and Jay as they continue their live broadcast from the Garneau Metro Cinema, where the first ever ESTYs are being held. I'm Zachary Kubish for your EST Update.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for print, design, and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of expertise, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. For advertising solutions that stand out, choose William Huff. Visit visit us at williamhuff.com.
Few of us can say that we're over 60 and still hot, but Mr. Mike's Burger can. And to celebrate over 60 years of Mr. Mike's famous burger, you're invited to taste history for only $8.99 at Mike Burger Madness. Savor the original flame-grilled Mike Burger on their signature garlic French loaf for a limited time. Dine-in only price of just $8.99. Sides extra. It's Mr. Mike's Mike Burger Madness, and you'd be mad to miss it. Offer ends September 30th. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
Fuge Sausage makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Get your 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in store at 6736 99th Street, or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders over $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausage. You can't beat our meat.
All right, thanks a lot for checking out the show. This is episode 11, I believe. We're into double digits.
We made it.
We're still going. I'm not entirely sure Dustin realizes we do the show every day. Like I think he just sort of thinks, okay, these guys will come in and try it out, and it's sort of just let them think they're having fun, and then it's like, no, Dustin, we're doing an actual show. I'm not sure he realizes that.
We do the dang thing.
We actually do it.
We are 3 away from changing 100. So that's big.
100 thumbs up on YouTube.
If you are listening, if you are watching, hammer that thumbs up. Let's get there.
We looked over there as if someone came in. We're in the lobby of the Metro Cinema at the Garneau and the ESTYs will be here tonight. Yeah, you made a good point earlier. We can see in and see the big ESTY logo on the screen there, which is pretty cool. All right, do we have Jed Roberts standing by? Jed, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Just listening to you guys have a chat about all the things that you guys do so well.
Oh, well, speaking of somebody that does something very well, we have to talk about. We are in the presence of a Hall of Famer. Jed, you attended Northern Colorado University, the UNC Bears in Greeley, Colorado. From 1986 to 1989, you accumulated 14 sacks in that time, and you were an all North Central Conference player. Jed, for those that don't know, you were just down there this past weekend, and you were fortunate enough to be inducted into the Greeley the University of North Carolina Bears Hall of Fame. So first off, a round of clicks for Jed Roberts, and we'd like to hear a little bit about it. We want to hear all about it. How was it? I know you saw some family down there, so take us through the weekend and take us through how much that means to you.
Well, I've been inducted to the University of Northern Colorado Athletics Hall of Fame. I think the first time they notified me that I was in was in 2020, and then the pandemic hit, so I couldn't get down there for the ceremony. And then in 2022, because they do it every 2 years, they deferred me to 2022. And their bylaws require that in order for you to be voted in or be formally inducted, you have to be there to actually be at the ceremony. So you can't mail that one in. So 2022, I tried to get down there, and they had scheduled it in the spring, and a big spring snowstorm hit, and I couldn't get out of Calgary, so I got socked in. So I missed it again, and so the third time was the charm. This time they got smart and scheduled it in the fall. And was able to get down there, and I was inducted in with a pretty impressive class. Former Major League Baseball manager, I think he managed the Montreal Expos, Tom Runnels.
Oh, nice.
He was also a longtime coach for the Rockies as well, a base coach. You have Mariel Gutierrez, a soccer player from 2014 to 2018, and then Savannah Smith, women's basketball player from 2015 to 2019, and then Tad Boyle, the head coach of the Colorado University Buffaloes basketball team. He was a prolific coach at UNC before he moved on to CU. And then Jamie White, who's the current head basketball coach at San Jose State. Fresno, my bad. Boy, I'm glad you didn't hear me say that. She's the head coach at Fresno, but she was the coach at UNC before she moved over there. Aaron Smith, the guy who he played defensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was supposed to be there. He was going to get his jersey retired. But unfortunately, he couldn't make it. Last minute, had to pull out because his daughter injured herself playing soccer. So he's going to defer to the next 2 years. So, it was good, man. They did a little fireside chat and asked me a few questions. I tried to keep it as PG as possible. And it was good dinner. I had the risotto, and I had the vegetarian option, because I'm trying to watch trim my figure there, and I don't want anything getting stapled to my hips there. It was really nice to see some old friends. It's weird when you go someplace and you spend that 4 years of time there right after you get out of high school, and how everything's so intense and everything's coming fast and furious, and then fast forward 35 years and you go back and a lot of it hasn't changed much, but yet it's all changed, right? So it was there was a lot of really poignant moments. I got all 5 of my kids were in the same room for only the second time ever. So I've got 2 different pools of kids there. I had 3, my ex-wife and I. We met in university, and my older kids are living in Denver now, so they all drove up, and we got the kids together. We went down to Elitz Gardens and rode the rides. I made the mistake of going on the big wooden roller coaster first, and I forgot that I'm 57, and I was getting bounced around and taught in my neck, and I said, I think I'm not going to ride any more rides after that. That was, I just don't have it in me anymore, guys. I'm sorry, but my kids had a good time. We had a really good time. We flew into LA yesterday, had a bit of a layover, so we kind of experienced the airport there. There's they sell Hermes purses there for like $50,000, and so pretended to be in the market for a purse.
What kind of purse?
Hermes. It's the Greek god of speed, Hermes.
Hermes. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, they sell them right there in the airport, man. So if you're in the market for a purse, next time you're rolling through LA, buddy, there you go. So,
well, Jed, I know, I know that, obviously there would have been some, some sort of compensation for going down there for this. So how many of these Hermes purses did you buy at the LA airport?
Well, I've got quite the collection already going, and I think I already have all the models they have on sale. I'm just kidding. I just was like, holy smokes, man, this is how the other side lives, right? And they've got a Hugo Boss store right there inside the terminal. And yeah, it's LA's a different planet, man. And quite, I'm a prolific lip reader, so I was lip reading some pretty incredible conversations there. Lots of business deals went down all around me. So,
well,
not
Jed,
the usual Edmonton
congratulations.
fair,
Yeah, well, congratulations on going through the ceremony for UNC, and I'm glad how you gave the perspective of you're actually named to it several years ago, because I think when you brought this up to me, didn't I say I thought that happened already?
Well, yeah.
And so this is why.
Well, and what's nice than being nominated once, it's like you get to relive it.
You get to relive it.
Two
which
extra
is pretty
times.
cool. And that's awesome. Thanks for telling that story, Jed. I'm glad you had that experience. The Elks are back at work after a bye week. How did Jed Roberts, the player, spend a bye week? Did you have a go-to, or did you play it by ear? Tell me about that.
Buddy, when I was playing, we didn't have bye weeks. No, they put us to work. We played the whole 18, man. We didn't do bye weeks when I was there. That was a different era, man. We didn't get any breaks. The bye weeks weren't a thing when I was playing. That's something that this breed of young bucks here, they get the cushy 2 bye weeks in 1 year. That's crazy. That's man, I would have gotten into a lot of trouble. To answer your question, I would travel. I would go. I would take off, because I know at one point, I think toward the end of my career, I had a bit of an extended break, so I took off. I caught a flight, went out to Vancouver, and got into some mischief, and then made it back just before practice. So like it never happened. But that would be what I would do. I would go, and I would see what I could get into, and that was kind of how I was wired back then. But now I'm the happiest place I'm on the planet for me right now is at home. I've discovered that as I get older, I really like home cooking, and I like being around my dogs. And and people are, it's hard, man. Your social battery when you get a little bit older, it kind of drains a little bit quicker. And it was a wonderful weekend. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. It was really like people were making a fuss over me, and I'm not really used to that, but. It was really the best part of it all. Really, was getting to see all of my kids in the same room. That was a moment I don't think I'll ever forget. Top 5 moment for sure. I loved it. The Hall of Fame was nice, but family's the most important thing.
So, and you and I probably 8 or 9 years ago did an extended segment on watching tape, watching film, and you took me and the audience places I never thought about, the detail and the habits and stuff you would look for. So when you had a bye week with the Esks, would you detach from football, or would you still say, I got to watch an hour, 2-3 hours of tape for the next opponent so I have a head start when I come in? Would you still look at video when you were on a bye week?
Nah, I'd disconnect. I'd go, like, I was just I was the kind of guy that I was working so hard all the time. I think I was wired a little bit differently, right? Because I'm hearing impaired, right? And I had to study. I had to focus really, really hard just to be on par with everybody else, right? And that's draining, right? So I would take those opportunities when they arose and just go and do something different, and then come back with a fresh perspective and attack my work with a renewed vigor, So, but everybody's different. Like, some people like to get better and hone their craft that way. And I think that if I'd been wired a little bit differently with my years, maybe I would have done that. I would have gone, into overload and just kind of done it all the time. But I always kind of knew that I needed to take breaks once in a while, and that was my opportunity. When I had some time, I love to travel. I like to see places. When I was younger, now that I'm a little bit older, I've realized that I've seen enough places. I'm gonna stay close to home for a while, but when I need to go, I'll go. But everybody's different. Some people like to do that. Some people like to get really, they take their time seriously, and they want to get better, and they hone their craft, and they watch as much film as possible. I know Danny Bass had the big room, floor to ceiling with beta tapes, and that was what he was doing. He wasn't going anywhere. During football, it was all about football, right? But some guys like to get away, and I was one of those.
Jed, I always like to get your thoughts on what's going on in the high school football world, because, well, you obviously, as those that have listened, they know your son Keikoa is a big part of the Salisbury Sabres football squad, who is currently ranked 4th in Alberta, and that is in 5A. This is big boy, big school football, and they are going up against the number 1 team in the country, in the province, which would be Harry Ainley. And if I'm not mistaken, that game happens this Friday night at 7:30 out at Emerald Hills in Sherwood Park. So if you are looking to watch the future stars of junior football, CIS football, surely you will find more than a handful out there this Friday. But Jed, I was just at a house party last weekend, and I run into Brock Ralph, who is the head coach of the Harry Ainley Titans. So I asked him, I said specifically, because Brock Ralph and the Harry Ainley Titans went down to Raymond already for an exhibition game and beat Raymond. I said, who is the biggest challenge that you will face this year? And he didn't even blink. He said Salisbury. Jed, set the table for this game coming up this Friday.
I think Brock is having fun with you. You know, I think that Raymond held a couple of their guys out, much to the chagrin of Ainley. Raymond wanted to rest a couple of guys, so I don't think they had all of their dogs in that one. So don't fool yourself. They're still a very powerful team and a force to be reckoned with. But you're absolutely right when it comes to Ainley, and I think Brock, if I'm not mistaken, he's the offensive coordinator, and Tyler Greenslade is the head coach. But
yes, my mistake.
Brock is an incredible coach, and he's a great mentor, and he's got those guys playing at a very, very high level. They have probably the best assortment of skill position players in the province, if not maybe Western Canada. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they are the number one team in the country right now. They've got one of their O-linemen his name escapes me right now, but he might be the top O-lineman in the West. And he's a big boy, and he can move his feet. They like to get him out on the edge and pull him a little bit and create a little bit of chaos. And they run the ball extremely well. They throw the ball efficiently, but I think their bread and butter is the zone. They like to run their zone quite a bit, inside, outside, and they've got lots of talent all across the board. I don't really see any weaknesses in their team. They've got guys that are sitting on the bench that could start for any other team in Alberta, and they wouldn't. You know, there's not a lot of drop off from 1 to 2, and you know they've got a great coaching staff, and it's just going to be an incredible matchup. I think that Ainley's got I don't know how many kids they dress, but you know they come at you in waves. You know, when you watch them on film, they don't let up. You know, it doesn't matter who's in there. They throw their subs in, and they're still performing at a very, very high level, higher than most teams that are functioning with their starting lineups. And I think that's what their goal is. I think every week is to get their backups as much time as they can, so they can continue to be a powerhouse for years on coming down the road. So. You know, Salisbury's got their work cut out for them. They've got to play their best football in order to have an opportunity. But you know, these opportunities, there's only one team playing the number one team in the nation, and that's us. So we've got a good opportunity. I think that we do have the skill to keep up with these guys, but we're going to have to play our very best football in order to have a chance to come out ahead at the end of the game. Because I think it's going to be a pretty tight game. I think. You know, I think in football sometimes, you know, when you talk about boxing, styles make fights, right? And I think that's true for football too. Like sometimes you get these matchups, and it was kind of like when we played Manning earlier. It was just going back and forth, and it went right down to the last play. And I suspect we'll probably see some of that this week. And I can't say enough positive things about the program that Tyler runs over there at Ainley. You know, they just know how to recruit. They know how to get guys to come in and buy in. And Tyler's a no-nonsense guy. He likes his guys to concentrate on the game and not worry so much about the drip. And, you know, they play football the way it's supposed to be played. So it's going to be a fun night of football. If you're not doing anything, come on down to Emerald Hills and watch two of the best teams in the country slug it out.
All right. Jed, always great to have you on the show. We'll have you on next week, and of course, we'll have an Elks Bombers game to break down. Big one coming up on Saturday at Commonwealth. Again, thanks for sharing the story about going into the UNC Hall of Fame. And yeah, man, just glad you're joining us every week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Jed Roberts, Double E alum, all around good guy. Great story, great storyteller.
One of the best. Absolutely, one of the best.
Yeah, I love talking to Jed. 780-218-9999 is the EST inbox. You can also jump into the nasty chat, our off-topic topic, the movie that you can't resist watching if you see it's on television. The on-topic, I guess, or the timely topic is your top 3 Oilers training camp storylines. To recap mine, status of Evander Kane and the fallout, watching Podkolzin, how he performs in the preseason, and then just jockeying for position on the right side D with Brown, Stetcher, Emberson, and some of those types of players.
And we had some monumental shifts here in the thumbs up battle here on the YouTube
Who are we
stream.
battling?
Ourselves. Reid. We're battling ourselves.
It's like golf.
So we have eclipsed. And Zach, if you were there, play the tune.
Changing 100.
There it is.
Oh, that was that thing. That still catches me by surprise when you play those little things when we're in studio. We're at the Metro Cinema. We're at Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater. The ESTYs are tonight. The genius behind the setup, Matthew Iwanyk, is going to join us as we roll along tonight. We'll have some thoughts on a dramatic Monday night finish, and we're going to find out. I actually don't know this. The name of the duck that lives in the Milne household. All coming up on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
The Edmonton Oilers are moving on from assistant GM Brad Holland. Brad Holland, the son of former Oilers GM Ken Holland, first joined the team back in 2019 before being promoted to assistant GM and pro scout for the 2022-23 season. Canucks forward Dakota Joshua will miss the start of training camp, requiring surgery to remove a cancerous lump. The 28-year-old re-signed with the team on a 4-year deal this past season after recording 18 goals and 14 assists through 63 games with the team. Edmonton Elks' wide receiver Hergy Mayala did not practice today and was out with a calf injury, while running back Javon Leake was out of practice as well, but due to non-football related reasons. The Elks are back in action this Saturday at 5 against the Blue Bombers down at Commonwealth Stadium. Join Jay Milne and Matthew Iwanyk for the Green and Gold Kickoff Show, where they'll be live at 4 o'clock this Saturday at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge down on Fort Road. You can catch them down there every Elks game for the rest of the season. And it's Bo Bichette being activated by the Blue Jays after being on a 10-day injured list. He'll bat second tonight when the Jays face the Rangers with first pitch just after 6. And after the break, Reid and Jay will continue talking about Reid's top 3 and discuss the name of Jay Milne's duck that he has adopted to his family. I'm Zachary Kubish, and that was your EST Update.
Few of us can say that we're over 60 and still hot, but Mr. Mike's Burger can. And to celebrate over 60 years of Mr. Mike's famous burger, you're invited to taste history for only $8.99 at Mike Burger Madness. Savor the original flame-grilled Mike Burger on their signature garlic French loaf for a limited time. Dine-in only price of just $8.99. Sides extra. It's Mr. Mike's Mike Burger Madness, and you'd be mad to miss it. Offer ends September 30th. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for print, design, and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of expertise, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. For advertising solutions that stand out, choose William Huff. Visit us at williamhuff.com.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
All right. How's it going, everybody?
How are you doing, Reid?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We got to wait for this song.
Oh, is this the one? You like this one a lot.
I do.
All right. Matthew Iwanyk will join us after 5.
Yeah.
We are, even though we are on location, we are still in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. ESTYs tonight at 7. So we are in the lobby of the Garneau Theater, Metro Cinema at Garneau Theater.
It's only 4:48.
Correct.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Let's go hunting for change in 200 today. Let's do it. If you're listening, watching on YouTube, hammer that thumbs up. If you have already, call your mom, call your dad, call your girlfriend, call your son, call your daughter.
That's a really good song by Robin, by the way. Call your girlfriend.
Call your girlfriend.
It's a good song.
Hammer that thumbs up. It's ESTYs Day, baby. What better day to go hunting for 200 than ESTYs Day? And we do have a third chair behind us.
Yeah,
here
Waddock's going to join us.
We will get to
the director of the show.
The director of the show
and executive producer.
An executive producer.
That's what he wants to be called. EP
of the ESTYs and Coup over at EST. That is the
Chief Operating Officer.
Chief Operating Officer.
Officer.
Had a brain, when your brain.
You know,
gets
one
tangled.
thing I like about doing this on location is being on location is fun. We're wearing headsets, which Matt bans us in the studio. I like wearing a headset. I'm used to wearing a headset.
Right. I think it makes my big head look bigger. But I'm used to it with the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Thanks, Reid.
Thank you. Green and Gold Kickoff Show Saturday at 4.
Yes, sir.
From Century Casino, leading into the Elks and the Bombers, which is Saturday at 5. That's with Iwanyk and Milne, and then they're back after the game with the Green and Gold post-game show as the Elks try to get to 6-8 and win. It would be their 6th win in their last 7 games if they can get it done. All right, last night the Monday Nighter, the Falcons pulled it out. I had the Eagles winning 31-17. It did not work out that way. Dramatic drive by the Falcons to win it at the end of the game. What did you think?
Well, as far as the game went, it was a pretty blah game. I mean, it wasn't a very, there wasn't a lot of big plays that happened. There wasn't a lot of entertaining plays, but the fourth quarter was obviously where the story was written. And leading up to that, you have a questionable play call by the Philadelphia Eagles and, throwing a ball to Saquon Barkley that, yes, he should have caught. Yes, he took blame for. But ultimately, a drop pass stops the clock. I mean, they stopped the clock with 1:39 left. Sure, they went and kicked the field goal to put themselves up by 6 points. But 1:39 is a lot of time left. And, Cousins with his, 70-yard, 65-second touchdown drive in which he hit I always want to say
London
Pitts.
that got the
Yeah,
touchdown?
Drake London for
Alan
the go-ahead
Pitts.
touchdown. And, that was a game that Philly let, out of the grasp of their hand. I would have suggested to run the ball on third down. You're going for a field goal anyways. I mean, they weren't trying to score a touchdown at that point. They're just trying to take time off the clock, lose 40 seconds, take the whole play clock, and then run, give them 40 seconds up. It took them 65 seconds to drive down the field.
Mhm.
There was 1:39 left.
How many timeouts did Atlanta have? I can't remember.
None.
Oh, they were out already?
If you take 40 seconds out of the equation, that's 61 seconds left.
I get that. See, that's an interesting topic to me, the whole clock management thing.
It's a bad call. It was a bad play call.
And I remember a few years ago, I read an article. This is one of those things I wish we knew we were going to talk about this. This might have still been when I was getting the paper edition of Sports Illustrated. There was a guy, and I think some NFL teams might have even hired him as a consultant, or college teams. He would watch clock management every weekend. Like, he would look at late game situations, clock management. And there was a situation like that. I think the New York Giants were inside the other team's 5 and called 2 passing plays with the lead and had to settle for a field goal. And the other team came back and got a touchdown and won. But also, Jay, Barkley he made a mistake. That's a wide open catch.
He shouldn't have been in the position to make the mistake.
But the play call worked. The play worked. You can't say the play didn't work.
It doesn't matter.
Barkley dropped the ball.
The philosophy behind the play call was flawed. That should not have happened. You can't leave it to that, because guess what? Mistakes happen. The greatest receivers, the greatest run, they screw up from time to time. And yes, it was a hard pill to swallow at that point, but little did they know just how detrimental that would be to this squad and to that game.
Yeah, I on one hand, I get that, especially with the other team being out of timeouts. But I also think that there are plays that they practice and defenses that they expect that they think are going to work.
Well,
and the Philadelphia coaching staff had that play, and they dialed it up. And Barkley, I mean, let's face it, we could have caught it, to go back to one of our top threes. No, but a good high school back usually makes that catch. He's wide open. It's a routine catch for a running back, and he didn't make it. So is it to me? I would criticize the player mistake over the play call, because the play call worked.
I would not. I would criticize the play call, and I would say that even though Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni came out and said that they saw something in the defense, that they knew they could exploit this, and it was wide open. It was good to go. But why are you even doing that? You're playing the clock at that time.
Right.
You're up at that point, they were up by 3 points. They were going to go ahead by 6 points, or they were going to kick a field goal.
Right.
Use the time, play the game. It's like at that point. And I'm not a big clock management guy. I'd rather it come down to hard-nosed football. But in this situation, and especially the way the game was going last night, it wasn't a knockout, drag-em-out kind of aerial attack football game. This was a tough-nosed. It's going to come down to the final minute. And they challenged Kirk Cousins and that Atlanta Falcons offense to go down the field. And lo and behold, they did. Yeah. And they did it in very, very decisive fashion.
I do understand what you're saying. You left the door open for the other team. And even if Atlanta only does that 1 out of every 10 times, you're giving yourself the chance to be the one team they do it against. Now, another thing, though, is they went for a 4th down inside the 10 in the first half. And didn't get it and left 3 points off the board.
Yep.
And there is a philosophical shift in football, especially in the NFL, to go for it more, 4th and 3, 4th and 4, which I actually love, because the point of football is to score points. How do you do that? You have possession of the ball. In the grand scheme of things, there are very few defensive touchdowns or kick return touchdowns. So your offense needs to have the ball. So get the most points possible. But you could also argue, well, if they had those 3 points from the first half, that if everything goes the same, which I know is a big what if, that field goal puts you up 9. instead of only. So do you also think that's a bad decision from the first half?
I don't like going for the fourth down when you're in scoring position.
If you got an easy 3.
Yeah, I like it if you're just outside of field goal position. It's not going to hurt your defense to turn over the ball on the 35 or 40-yard line. I do not like blatantly giving up a chance to score, a chance to put points on the scoreboard. I don't like that. I didn't like it last night. And you can say ultimately it came back to burn them. Did they know that at that point in the game in that junk? No. But I just like, you have to take points in the NFL when they're available to you. These are professional football players. These are standout football players. Everybody on that field is really good. It doesn't matter that Philadelphia was favored by 6 points. You have to take points and take advantage of that when you can. And ultimately, I think that was okay. I'll ask you this. I'll give you a hypothetical. If knowing what happened last night, knowing how that game ended, would Nick Sirianni change that play call from a throw to the flats for Saquon Barkley, or do you think he'd run the ball?
Honestly, I think coaches are stubborn and confident enough. He would still say, we call the play that worked.
Then that would be flat out stubbornness. If he said, yeah, I would run it and take the 40 seconds off the clock and let it bleed down. Because Philadelphia had timeouts. They could run it right down, take the timeout, and you got 39 seconds off the clock.
I thought Atlanta was out of timeouts. I thought they had one left.
None.
Well, a pretty impressive drive.
And, if you haven't watched it yet, go back, find it, and watch the, obviously not right now, but right around 6:01, 6:02, the Manning cast of them following that last drive.
Did they say that was the wrong play?
No. Well, I'm just talking about the final drive that Kirk Cousins led Atlanta down the field.
They must have loved that.
It was perfect.
Right.
Almost perfect.
All right, 780-218-9999 is the EST inbox. Matthew Iwanyk is going to hop on. I got to get to this player thing I've been teasing and the Duck name. We'll still do that. We got a lot to get to in the final hour of the show. We're having fun here at Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for print, design, and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of expertise, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. For advertising solutions that stand out, choose William Huff. Visit us at williamhuff.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
The Edmonton Oilers have mutually parted ways with assistant GM Brad Holland. Holland joined the team back in 2019 as a scout and was promoted to the assistant GM role and pro scout in the 2022-23 season. Canucks forward Dakota Joshua announced that he was diagnosed with testicular cancer over the summer and will now miss the start of training camp after undergoing surgery to remove a cancerous lump. Signing an extension with the Canucks over the summer, Joshua does intend on playing in the upcoming season. One of the many roster moves coming from the Jays today saw Bo Bichette being activated. Bichette will bat second when the team plays the Rangers tonight just after 6. And right now in baseball, it's the Giants up against the Orioles. 1-0 Giants at the top of the second, and at the bottom of the first between the Braves and the Reds, it's the Braves up 3-zip. The Marlins are also leading the Dodgers 2-0 heading into the second inning. This sports update has been brought to you by Sit and Sleep. The wait is now over. Sit and Sleep is open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payments for 18 months, interest-free. And Reid and Jay will be on location Friday at Sit and Sleep. That's just in South Edmonton Common by Planet Fitness. And right now, Matthew Iwanyk in his suit will be joining Reid and Jay on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Wrong number?
You have to love those texts.
Jocelyn, we are putting out an APB right now for whoever is at home wanting to make sure your curling iron is turned off.
Yeah. Someone asked me to grab milk on the way home when I was hosting Inside Sports. I did not.
That happens.
I did not. He's Jay Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. This is the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Really cool. We have the ESTYs tonight. It is our first annual award show.
Look at this guy.
Executive producer of the ESTYs and the chief operating officer of Edmonton Sports Talk, Matthew Iwanyk, joins us here at Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater. Hey, Matthew.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm anxious. I have tested everything as much as I could. Everything works at the moment. But, you know, when a live show happens, you never know what's going to happen. So,
well, we know that very well.
I closed the doors because you guys could see everything right now. And I don't know how well you guys can hear with those headphones on.
Nothing.
But I closed those doors to do a full test run, ran through the entire program of the night. Everything went proper. Everything went as it needed to. So I'm feeling anxious because I would like 7 o'clock to get here so that we can get Fergie on the stage playing those bagpipes and we can get going. And we can start opening up the envelopes.
Look at these envelopes.
They are not leaving. You can't.
Can I touch one?
No.
Oh,
no.
I just want to put it up in front of the camera.
Yeah, I can do that for you. That's what we've got. We opened up 5 of them. We had the first 5 early today on the Hangouts, but these cannot leave my possession.
Wow.
They are not. I honestly, when I was driving, I loaded up the ESTYs in my car to drive here, and I realized the first big mistake of the night was I did not get police escort.
Yeah.
So it was like that was the mistake. I know I was driving. People were watching me going, I want one of those ESTYs. I knew that was happening. They were paying attention. But I got them here. They're safe. We've got the ESTYs in the Metro. We've got the winter envelopes in the Metro. We've got the program ready to go. Let's do this.
2 things I hope don't happen. I hope La La Land doesn't win anything and then they didn't actually win. And I hope Chris Rock doesn't present anything and make a joke about Will Smith's wife.
No comment.
There'll be no on-air slapping.
I'll take the opposite of that, and I will. Here's what I want. All right, we're going to drum up a little bit of controversy for the ESTYs. I want somebody to go up there after having consumed maybe a couple.
Am I going to like what you're going to have to say?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not, Maddie. Probably going to have consumed a couple too many beverages. Maybe they're feeling a little loose, and they get played off the stage. Like, your time is up. You know, and that happens at the award shows where you take too long thanking whoever you pray to, whoever you live with, and they take too long. I want to see somebody get, the audio come up.
What are we determining as, I think I have to turn my mic up. Let me try turning my mic up here quickly. Zach's telling me to turn it up, so we'll try doing that. Hopefully that works a little bit better, Zach. What do we think is a proper time for an acceptance speech?
30 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say 45 seconds.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let it be known.
What is it?
That's where I was gauging.
Okay.
That's where I was hoping it'd be.
But I want somebody to challenge you.
Well, I will say this. I'm ready.
Played off.
I am ready. The music is ready to go. I've got various music ready to go. Actually, that's one thing I should try. I should maybe go test that after.
The playoff music.
Oh, I know. I've already tested that.
Okay.
But I might have something else that I could possibly do.
So tell me.
But yeah, it will happen. And I hope no one tests me.
So tell me, this is very unique what we're doing. And obviously this seed was planted before I joined Edmonton Sports Talk. So tell me about
this. Was from 2023.
Tell me the origin story of the ESTYs.
So I don't know exactly what happened to make Dusty, Eric, and Trev one morning show decide they thought this was like October or something last year. So we weren't even 2 months in, and they're going, let's do an awards night. And I was driving into work, listening to it, and I was pondering it. And then the next day I had to fill in for Trev on the morning show. So the boys brought it up to me and like, do you think we could do the ESTYs? And I think they were hoping I'd be like, absolutely not, because that's usually what I say. I say no to everything. You've learned that. There are 11 shows where you've learned a lot. Then my go-to answer is
keep asking.
That I'll just go no. But I didn't say that. I think this is an excellent idea. And throughout the course of that day, I mapped out exactly how we would get to this moment. And it's happened. It's exactly as I thought it would get to this moment from the voting and all that. We've accomplished it. Now we just have to do the last little bit, which is hand out these awards and have a wonderful night.
And I want to clarify something because this was my initial question about it. But this honors audience members, shows, moments. It's not because I thought originally when you guys said this to me, I thought it was going to be like the ESPYs where we would have University Athlete of the Year, Oilers Game of the Year, Elks Game of the Year. But maybe someday we could do that.
Well, maybe the 2025 could incorporate a little bit of that. And I would say like, screw the Oilers, with all due respect, possibly screw the Elks a little bit too. But maybe that's a great way to honor some of the local community teams that don't get the coverage. Maybe that is something we could look at. But no, this is a night to honor
best
the
amateur
first year.
sports story of the year.
That mix
kind
those
of
in.
stuff. Yeah.
We could add a little more. Like we had the first 5 today on the Hango. We can maybe do a little bit more and mix them all around. But overall, I would say, no, this is about honoring Edmonton Sports Talk, the first year of everything that happened, both on the air and off the air, because a lot of, today, the Nasty Bash was the winner of Event of the Year for Edmonton Sports Talk.
That was announced on the Hango.
That was one of the first 5. So it's to honor our Nasties, each other, the great moments, controversies, rants, all of it. We just are going to honor the first year, and preparation's already begun for 2025.
Well, speaking of honoring things, I mean, there's plenty of honor going on in the Nasty chat right now about just how fantastic you look. Big Slam Nasty says, Maddie, I feel like you and I don't agree on most takes, but I got to say, you look bad, you know what, in that tux. And I will say, this is not a tux.
I wish it was a tux.
This is Maddie's fit.
I will say I was debating between this suit and the Amazon tux that Dusty has ordered that I haven't seen yet. The price difference, this wasn't that much greater. And so I was like, it's going to be better quality. I'll get more uses out of this suit. So I didn't do the one-time tux, but maybe next year.
Now I have a question for you in relation to the ESTYs here. Planning this, I mean, this has been on your plate for a long time. I know you're doing, as by all accounts and purposes, this is a fantastic job. What was the most challenging part of organizing, planning, and creating the ESTYs as the executive producer?
The two I will say, one would be trying to get some things done tonight without letting anyone know what's happening.
Sure.
Needing help with certain things, but I don't want to ask for that help because I don't want to spoil any of the night.
Right.
So that part was one challenging. I think the other part would be, well, one, we need to do a little bit better job of keeping track of this next year. So in the staff meeting, there'll be a document sent out that we could all fill out throughout the rest of the year to just stay a little more
for
refreshed.
nominations and whatnot.
Of course. I think we did a really good job of that. It was just making sure I've got presenters. Like actually the presenters still I don't have all the details for presenters yet. So that part, as soon as they get here, I've got cards for them. I've got some instructions for them. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but I got to give them instructions for certain things. So that part I have to figure out.
So can I say some of the categories?
They're all online.
Oh yeah. So moment of the year, exit of the year, rookie of the year. And these are the presenters down here.
I moved one of them around.
But these aren't the winners. So I can say who's
the winners
presenting.
are completely gone. I almost printed off the sheet with them.
The winners are totally secret. Just in those envelopes.
Nobody knows.
The only person is me.
Not even Dusty?
Dusty knows, I think, 2 awards.
We have
Tom knows one.
So Jay and I are
I think.
presenting AM Nasty of the Year, which is the last award of the evening.
Yeah.
And we are
Most committed,
presenting
AM Nasty.
At most committed. So different. Those are different categories, though.
Yeah, and I realized afterwards, I was like, oh, I put you guys kind of in like they're similar. Most committed AM Nasty is coming to our events. That has nothing to do with on air. That has nothing to do with listening. That is, we go to Century. We go to, for all sorts of things. We're at Hudson's for a lot of things. The EST Classic, all of that. Who has come and joined us at those? That's what most committed AM Nasty for is. The AM Nasty of the Year is just overall contributions to our station.
And just let it be known that one of the 4 what do you call these? Not qualifiers, but
they're the nominees.
Nominees.
The nominees.
The combine crew
finalists.
The combine crew has stated that they are en route to White Ave as we speak.
Oh wow!
They are one of the 4 nominees for that. And just so everybody knows, okay, Reid and I are invited to the ESTYs. We are EST. We just didn't want to wear a suit for 3 hours before we have to wear it for 5 more hours.
Our suits are in the green room.
I changed just before I came up.
Yeah. So
and it's warm.
I
thank God that fan is here. I was calling you soft earlier.
Frozen right now.
So this will be. Oh, we can shut the fan off.
I need it for the suit.
I like it though. I kind of like.
I run hot, but this is
I will shut it off when I walk off, but I need it right now because it gets warm in the suit.
Yeah. This will be the first time for me wearing a suit since Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final because I would wear a suit to cover the home games. Jay, when was the last time you wore a suit? Do you like wearing suits?
I hate suits. Actually, but I did, in honor of the big events, and I wanted to make sure my coworkers knew I was taking this very seriously, and I went and I got a new suit. So I went to see our friends at Modern Measure. They suited me up. You will see it tonight. It is it's not a flashy suit. I'm not a flashy guy, but it's a suit that is nice. It's tailored. It's comfortable. It's good quality fabric, and I'm excited. I don't dress up much. I don't get the opportunity to. My wife is dressing up, so it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to this. And so, Maddie, you said that the timeline for this is what? 2 hours?
That's the hope. I don't know.
That's the question I want to ask you.
I'm leaving after 2 hours.
You've got to represent the last word of the night.
Yeah, you can.
Exactly. I think it will go quick, but I've never produced a live show.
Well,
that's where it's like this. I could see this maybe going like an hour and a half. I could see this going 2 hours. I could see this going 2 hours and 15 minutes. I don't know. So tonight is going to be a good gauge for me for 2025 to figure out what I need to do. I've mapped it out. I've played it. There's we have 3 live musical performances tonight. We've got people coming up to present. I don't want to spoil anything when it comes to the winners. But overall, I hope 2 hours. I don't know. We have less than 20 awards to hand out.
Let's just say
we averaged it at 6 minutes per award.
That's easy. I think it'll go
faster. And then we've got some presentation. Well, I also hope it doesn't go like an hour.
Yeah, you can fine tune that. But I will say this: it is a licensed event, so.
Well, and with that said, I would like to say
I'm really interested in the alcohol portion of this. It maybe a little too much. So.
I think most people.
Why?
There's a lot of people that are. I've had a
Why
couple.
Would you say that?
In the lead up, I had many
just
emails
I'm having a refreshing beverage on the side.
Someone gets drunk and talks too long and gets played off.
That's a good point.
And then you further reminded people that it's a licensed event.
Well, what I'm saying is that
what brings money to Metro?
People might not be in the best frame of mind, so usually if that's happening, you do tend to take longer. Reid.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I will say this. Just heads up for anyone that is coming. There is no intermission. So if you need a drink, if you need to go to the washroom, just go during the night. No one's going to get upset. We got many seat fillers.
Consider it like a big hangout.
Yeah.
Come and go as you please.
Absolutely.
I love, by the way, you had the UFC fighter on this morning, Rose.
Yes.
And it's funny, when you're in the hangout studio, you almost have to. I remember I was there when the A&W execs came in.
It's hard to get rid of them? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, it's not. But it's like, it's okay to just leave.
Well, that's the part. It is awkward because they come in, they sit down, you do the show, and then it's like, okay, we're done. I'm not going to commercial break for you to walk away. And it's like, how do you go? And I still haven't figured it out to be like, you're done. You can leave without sounding like, get out of here.
I think you do a good job of it. I think you do a great job. And amongst others, this tonight, I think, is going to be a very shining moment for one young Matthew Iwanyk.
It's going to be something. That's what I just keep telling people. It'll be something.
I'm very proud of you, even though I say almost nothing positive to you ever.
Well, that's the first and last time. You boys get ready. Are you guys ready?
Hang
you
on.
guys ready for your words? The
Yes, we're ready.
nominations?
We're just, just going to come up with what we're going to say.
Perfect. Awesome.
You guys are, you got the Green and Gold kickoff show.
And so does Jay.
Saturday at 4 o'clock. We got to start building up. But what are you expecting from the Elks in that game? Ford's going to be back at quarterback. I mean, Winnipeg is still, they were 0-4. No, they're great. To me, they're the best in the West until someone can prove otherwise. So,
Well, they might be the best in the CFL.
Right.
CFL Power Rankings came out with them 1-2. Here's what I'll say. This is now finally time to, who are the Edmonton Elks? And the reason I say that is you look at actually who they've beaten. You can make the argument against the Elks' little run here. They beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That was a really good football game. Played great. But then they beat Jake Dolegala and the BC Lions. It wasn't Vernon Adams or Nathan Rourke. They still lose to Montreal. And they go beat Calgary or Hamilton, who just weren't good. They had benched Bo Levi. They were going with Taylor Powell. They benched James Butler. They weren't at where they were. And then Calgary was just not a good football team. Now you're going up against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Are the Edmonton Elks true, legit Grey Cup contenders? I think we're going to find out over the course of the next 2 weeks, starting on Saturday. I'm not saying they have to go win that football game, but we have an entertaining football game until the final 3 minutes, like a lot of games in the CFL have been this year. Then I'll sit there and feel really good about saying the Elks are for real. There's something about me that feels like the rug's going to get pulled from under them, and we're going to get disappointed again.
Yeah, I mean, you're pessimistic.
Why?
I don't know. There's a gut feeling going into that right now. Maybe I'm anxious for the ESTYs, and I'm just thinking.
I think so. I think you need to get through.
So I need to get through tonight,
point, and then after,
I can get excited. Well, Trey's my boy, so I'm going to believe in Trey.
We got sorry.
Yeah,
I
that would have been great. I think he's probably pissy, but I think it is. I think the Elks have passed that test already.
But again,
I think they've proven that they can. I know, but they can beat teams they're supposed to beat. That's one of the hardest parts of the test. Now you're up against a team that by the numbers or by who's hot, who's not. Maybe this is going to be a different story. But I think given that they can now put the foot down and they believe as a team that they can get it done, I think this is going to be this is a series that I've said it all along. I would be not surprised if they sweep Winnipeg.
I would love it. But Winnipeg is a good team, and they don't get this win today or this weekend. If Saskatchewan beats Calgary, they're 3 points back of a playoff spot again.
Yeah,
right. Like they're in this.
That's concerning.
It's this one spot, and you said it. Like they beat the teams they should beat. Well, that means we haven't seen them beat the teams that they haven't. That the other teams yet. So this is the first one. So that's where I need that little more just to feel like, okay, here we go. Let's get to Vancouver and watch this team win a Grey Cup.
We said yesterday it's actually better if Calgary beats Saskatchewan. And I know that's counterintuitive for Edmonton.
No, 100%.
Fans, but it's better if Calgary beats Saskatchewan.
Because even if Edmonton loses,
then they're
still point back at the playoff spot with tiebreakers.
Hey, we'd keep you for longer, but I think someone just walked in. They want to know what the special is tonight. We'll let you go. Take care of that. I guess that's more for the people on YouTube. Hey, Matthew, awesome job. This is going to be so cool
we'll see
tonight.
if you say that afterwards.
Thanks for all the work that you did.
Thank you.
That is the
Enjoy.
executive producer of the ESTYs and our chief operating officer at Edmonton Sports Talk, the legendary Matthew Iwanyk. We have 40 minutes left in the show. We have at least a couple of topics I have teased that we have not dived into yet. So we will do that. The mystery player who I wish would have gone to a different team because it would have made things more interesting in oil country.
Could you tease one more clue? If you got it.
It's his birthday today.
Mystery player birthday today.
And the name of the duck and who knows what else. Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Assistant GM Brad Holland and the Edmonton Oilers have agreed to mutually part ways. Brad Holland, the brother of former Oilers GM Ken Holland, was hired by the team back in 2019 as a scout. Canucks forward Dakota Joshua announced that he was diagnosed with testicular cancer and will miss the start of training camp after undergoing surgery to remove a cancerous lump. After signing an extension with the Canucks over the summer, Joshua does intend on playing in the upcoming season. Former Canuck Alex Edler is to sign a one-day contract to retire with the team. Edler played 925 games with the club, and Edler will officially retire October 11th when the Canucks play the Flyers. Bo Bichette has been activated from the injury list and will be back in action for the Blue Jays tonight when they face the Rangers. First pitch goes just after 6. And other games right now, the Giants lead 3-0 against the Orioles, while the Marlins are still up 2-0 against the Dodgers at the bottom of the second. It's 3-1. Braves up against the Reds. The Twins and Guardians are at the bottom of the third with the Twins in a 1-0 lead. Red Sox also lead the Rays 2-0, while the Nationals and Mets are tied at 0s at the bottom of the first. Reid and Jay will be back to talk about Reid Wilkins, mystery player, who he thinks would be could change things for the Oilers if they went to another team, and to talk about Jay Milne's newly adopted duck in his family. I'm Zachary Kubish for your EST update.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Fuge Sausage makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Get your 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store at 6736 99th Street, or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders over $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausage. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
At A&W, you can start the morning off right with a regular coffee and an egger of your choice for just $4.99. Bacon and egger or sausage and egger on a seeded bun or an English muffin? The choice is yours. But we know it'll be tasty either way. And to make matters even more delicious, this offer is available all day. But don't snooze on this deal. An egger and a regular coffee for only $4.99 is a limited time price. Available at participating A&W restaurants in Greater Edmonton.
It's almost the Terminator theme song. Almost. Actually, Terminator 2 or even the Terminator would be an answer for me in the off-topic topic for William Huff. The movie that when you see it's on TV, you can't resist watching, even if it's just part of it or just if it's near the end, you want to watch the end. Do we have, you were sort of keeping a tally. Do we have an unofficial winner from the Nasties?
It's close. I mean, there's a lot of Gladiator.
Oh yeah.
There's been a lot of Shawshank Redemption. And then there was a late push. And I understand this because it is somewhat seasonal. But when it's on in a certain season, National Lampoon's the Christmas Vacation, is up there. Happy Gilmore also. So I'd say it's between those four. Reid.
Did somebody write in The Matrix?
The Matrix.
Matrix is absolute science fiction classic. The second one and the third one and the fourth one, perhaps not so much. Visually, yes. Story-wise, no. The first Matrix had it all. Had action, had a great sci-fi premise, great story, all that kind of stuff. All right, so we had a few that were up there. What did I say? Aliens, Terminator 2. Mm-hmm. I guess I just like James Cameron, perhaps.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a sci-fi thing. It's okay. That's great. That's what you're into.
You know what another movie would be for me, even though I have it on DVD, though I never watch DVDs anymore, is Spy Game. The one Tony Scott directed with Redford and Pitt, where it's the two time periods. It's him training Pitt to be a spy, and then the current with Redford trying to get Pitt out of a prison wherever he'd been captured or whatever.
Yes.
And I really liked their dynamic and some of the. There's that one scene.
Were they Irish in that?
No, they're American. But they're Pitt goes to meet Redford, and Redford's on the top of a building having tea at a table, and it's like this helicopter shot going around them while they're having this conversation.
A fun note here. I just we're sitting across from the entrance into the theater, and right beside the entrance to the theater is the bar. And I just saw a sign go up. Birdie Booze is going to be made available.
Is Smash Mash going to be here? It will not be me tonight. I can tell you that if it is.
If it is, Reid's leaving now.
A good point. Matthew just said that's what I would say if I was Smash Smash. But I will be changing into a suit, not a mascot suit.
I did run into Schmitty earlier from Strathcona Spirits, who is dropping off a fair amount of Birdie Booze. So come thirsty and come always is what they say, I believe, right?
Sure. That's what they say now. So a player in the NHL whose birthday it is today, and here's the team I wish would have drafted this player, the Calgary Flames. Do you know what team actually got to draft him?
I do not.
The Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, do you know who I'm talking about?
Oh, maybe.
Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
And I wrote this on 630ched.com going into the draft lottery that year in 2016. McDavid was already an Oiler, had been through his rookie season. Edmonton didn't have a good year. They had the second best draft lottery odds at 13.5. Calgary had 8.5. Edmonton dropped down to 4th, took Puljujarvi. Calgary wound up picking 6th, took Tkachuk, who did fuel the Battle of Alberta briefly. In the grand scheme of things, briefly. But he was a really good thing that happened to the Battle of Alberta. Obviously had the stuff with Cassian, and then the goalie fight happened while he was fighting Ethan Bear. You know, some chattering through the media and all that kind of stuff. And a very easy player to hate because, like we were talking about the other day, like a true kind of throwback power forward almost to 30 or 40 years ago. And then he leaves to Florida. And let's face it, the one series they played, Edmonton controlled that series. I know the fifth game, they lost 8-6 or 9-6, but, outplayed Calgary in that series. But I wrote at the time, and this is still sort of a totally hypothetical what if for me, but how interesting. I was going to use the word cool, but maybe some Oilers fans wouldn't have thought it would have been cool if the Flames would have won the draft lottery the year after the Oilers got McDavid, and Matthews would have been drafted by the Flames.
Oh,
could you imagine that?
Sensory overload.
I just thought, hey, if we really wanted to heat up, let's have these two guys drafted back-to-back to the two Alberta teams.
Well, how often do they get to? They see the Leafs twice, right?
Twice, except that one year they played 9 times. But I think Matthews missed some of those games. Yeah, I think he did because Hyman was really good in those. Right. He played 3 games in a row in Edmonton. Since Austin Matthews came into the National Hockey League, do you know who leads the NHL in goals scored? Austin Matthews, 368. He is 40 ahead of Alexander Ovechkin. So the top 5 goal scorers since Matthews came into the league, Matthews, Ovechkin, Draisaitl, Pasternak, and McDavid. So this excludes the first couple of years.
That's in the time span of
since Matthews got
Austin
drafted.
Matthews.
Right.
Okay.
Now, Leon and McDavid didn't score a ton before then, and McDavid's clearly the points leader. But just in terms of goals, it's Austin Matthews. So I just thought we have spent, now again, before 2022 when they actually played, we spent, especially people of my age and even your age, we spent a lot of time lamenting how the two teams hadn't played in the playoffs since 1991.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of years in which either both teams were bad or the Flames were at least decent and the Oilers were missing the playoffs 10 years in a row. And when I was on Pat Steinberg on Calgary radio, or maybe it was somebody to my show, wrote in and said, this was like a long time ago, said, it's not the Battle of Alberta, it's the pillow fight of Alberta. Because, I mean, there were years it was like, oh, it's 26th overall against 28th overall. How exciting.
Sure.
What are they battling for? Now, it has ramped up, though you sent me a chart last night. Whoever sent that doesn't think the Flames will be very good. We'll have to talk about that more later this week.
Yeah.
I think that's another full segment type of thing.
What do they call those when you're voting? It gives you your voting allegiance or your alliance? It's like a spectrum, a voting
Yeah, it was
spectrum.
like a spectrum. So it was like good defense, bad defense, good offense, and it has the Flames one of the 4 worst teams in the league this year, which maybe they will be. But I just think this is a total what if you could rewrite and control history. How interesting would that have been if Austin Matthews went to the Calgary Flames if they'd won that draft lottery, and we would have been treated to 4 or 5 games a year between the two teams, and then how much that would have stoked the rivalry to a level that I think even would have been more than when Tkachuk was there and the late Goudreau was there and all those guys. Like, I think it would have been another level.
It just seems weird to think of it.
Yeah, it's a complete.
It's just like Austin Matthews is such a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Well, he is now.
I know, but like, I mean, if you can think of one team that Oilers fandom would hate as much or possibly more than the Calgary Flames, it is the Maple Leafs.
I did this, I think last year on Inside Sports. I had people text. Well, to me, there's a separate category. It's who's the Oilers' biggest rival.
Yeah.
And then there's who do you hate the most.
Gotcha.
And I think for hatred, there's a lot of Vancouver, and there's probably more Vancouver now after this past year. And let's face it, the Canucks fan culture, it's not all of them, but there was this really vocal, nasty part of them that I don't know where it came from.
Now, let me ask you something, Reid.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, but
okay.
I must ask because you were not here at this station.
No.
When that was happening, you were at somewhere else. But we saw a massive influx of that kind of, especially given that,
yes,
our broadcast is carried on YouTube. There's obviously an open chat line that people can chime in. The EST inbox. Were you seeing a lot of that over there?
It was very odd. And I mean, there's always, yes. And there was a little more, and I mean, look, let's face it, the Oilers fans there's bad apples or there's kind of immature idiots, quite frankly, in any fan base, unfortunately, who sometimes don't know what the line is. But yeah, it was a little more organized with Canucks fans. It was there was more vitriol.
Yeah,
certainly during that series. And I mean, let's face it, Rob and I identified the trolls pretty quickly on the phone lines. Like, we had this one guy, he called a couple times and said, you got to trade Draisaitl for Casey DeSmith. And we were just like, okay, buddy, like we're not going to waste time arguing with that. But what was interesting, so during the Vancouver Edmonton series, it was pretty hot and heavy, and especially the games Vancouver won, because you wanted to have we had one guy he'd go on a McDavid sucks rant and be like, okay, dude, like, we know you're a Vancouver fan. Thanks for calling, and right, move on. But they kept calling after the losses to Dallas and Florida.
Yeah.
Now, we identified most of them, and Kellen, who was the guy taking the phone calls at Jed, said when the Oilers would lose a playoff game, second round and beyond, and right after the game, the phone line would light up with BC area codes.
Sure.
So it was I don't know if they're organized or if they just were that intent on getting in. But what, I guess on one hand, good for you for your commitment, but what struck me as odd was they really didn't get much of, like, they didn't hijack the show. I mean, Rob and I realized what they were doing. Kellen didn't even take most of the calls. If one got through, as soon as they went down that path, I would be like, oh, good for you. You're a Canucks troll. Congratulations. Thanks for calling. And then we'd move on.
Yeah.
We wouldn't spend an hour. So it's not like they got the satisfaction of, oh, we hijacked the Oilers post-game show and made it all about these petty Canucks arguments. It would just be like, okay, you wasted 10 to 20 seconds of the show.
Hernan!
So yeah, I that's something I never experienced. I kind of hate saying this, so I'm not labeling all Canucks fans as this, but more of it came out of that series from that fan base than I'd experienced before.
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah. And I must say, I mean, credit to fans, whoever you cheer for, whoever you're a fan of, but that's weird to me. I mean, I find I have way more interesting things in life to do than go on a broadcast of the other team, the opponent, and try and talk with their fans or tick off their fans or I just think, wow, I wish I had that much time in my life. I do.
Yeah, I guess it always. I mean, I don't know.
It amazes me.
I get sports can be, and it can bring out bad play. And when I was younger, I was a little more of an emotional, ticked off fan. I think when you get older, you realize, like, okay, my favorite team lost a game. There's nothing I can do about it. It happens. Maybe I might be upset. Maybe I want to listen and find out why. But when my team wins a game, I'd sooner celebrate that than opposed to call the other team's show or listen to the other team's broadcast to try to get whatever you're getting out of that. But I guess that's how these people, and Twitter can be nasty. But and I mentioned this, I can't remember if I said this on air or off air. It was interesting talking to people Oilers fans who went to Dallas and Florida about how it was different.
Yeah.
And even after Game 7 in Florida, a buddy of mine said, of course they were happy, but they weren't running up to us. Like there was, hey, great series. We were here last year and now you won the cup. You guys are going to be back. There wasn't this sort of nada boo-boo. We beat you and you flew all the way from
I don't
Edmonton
have time
and you're a loser. That. It was more just like, hey, we're going to celebrate, but what a series. Thanks for coming. And I thought that was appreciative from Florida, or a good acknowledgement from Florida fans to say, hey, we were here last year. We understand how you feel. So we're going to celebrate, but we're not going to rub it in your face,
Yeah. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I think I certainly would never, ever, ever, I would find the opposite in it and say, man, I understand what it's like to be on that side of the fence and to go through a hard loss for the team you cheer for. Sympathy, honesty, and say, hey, what a battle. That was an epic battle.
Yeah.
I would never take that road of just, that angle of just, or, that pestiness or whatever you want to call it, of trying to stir things up and make muddy the waters at that point.
Yeah.
Especially after your team's already won. Congratulate, move on, find better things to do with your life.
Yeah, honestly, again, especially they stayed with it. They
did not stop.
They kept listening to Jed and here 2 months or a month after the Canucks were out.
Yeah.
Like Joelle says, Canucks fans, and again, are relentless, she says. And again, it was a portion of them. It was an unusually vocal portion compared to other fan bases, but I still would not write off or criticize an entire fan base. I'm just telling you that experience. But I think, I guess maybe part of me puts age on it, but I think I could tell from some of the calls we had it wasn't. Because, hey, sometimes you're 20 and you're full of energy and you think you could have played in the NHL and you got to trash talk. But it's kind of like if somebody is ever really over the top about, well, my team won, sometimes just like, yeah, okay, what number were you? Like, yeah, you're a fan.
Yeah.
But, this doesn't elevate you necessarily. It might make you happy.
Might make you feel good, but
which is fine, which is the purpose of sports. General, sometimes there's a line where it's like, okay, cool, man. Like,
yeah, I just don't see the need or the desire to do that. And like I said, if I had that much time in my life, I certainly would not be on a chat or a phone call talking about sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's more important things in life.
Yeah.
To me, that's just my take.
No, I hear you. But that's what happened. And I still think it would have been neat as a what if Austin Matthews had been a Flame. Like, how cool would have that been? We would have had two of the premier talents in the National Hockey League.
I don't know. But, there's so much around Austin Matthews that has been created outside of hockey through his relationship with the Beebs and all that stuff that he now thinks he's some sort of a fashion nova that would not have happened in Calgary. So I don't know.
All right. 780-218-9999 if you want to jump into the EST inbox. And you can jump into the nasty chat as hundreds of people have today on YouTube. The James H. Brown studio, James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, is mobile today. It has brought us to the Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater. The heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com today and book your private consultation.
I've never seen Matty this nervous. He is pacing.
This is exciting. I'm actually not nervous. Once this show is done, we got to get up and give some awards, which we will do 2 minutes of prep for. All right. We'll get to some final thoughts, recap some of the stuff we talked about, get to a couple more of your messages, and we'll find out what the duck is called. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
The Edmonton Oilers are moving on from assistant GM Brad Holland. Brad Holland joined the team back in 2019 and is the son of former Oilers GM Ken Holland. Defenseman Alex Edler has signed a one-day deal to retire with the Canucks. Edler spent 15 seasons with the team and will officially retire on October 11th when the Canucks play the Flyers. Elks wide receiver Herji Mayala did not practice today due to a calf issue. Running back Javon Leake also sat out of practice due to non-football related issue as well. This Saturday, it's the Elks Bombers down at Commonwealth, and Jay Milne and Matthew Iwanyk will preview the action on the Green and Gold Kickoff Show, where they'll be live from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road. Elks Bombers kickoff this Saturday goes at 5. In baseball, the Blue Jays activated Bo Bichette. Bichette will bat second tonight when the Jays play the Rangers just after 6. And right now in baseball, the Giants are up 4-0 against the Orioles, while it's tied at 4 apiece at the top of the third between the Dodgers and the Marlins. The Braves lead the Reds 4-1, while the Red Sox are up 2-0 against the Rays. 0-0 between the Nationals and Mets, as well as the Athletics and Cubs right now. Just after the break, Reid and Jay got their final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show tonight before the doors open officially for the ESTYs at the top of the hour. I'm Zachary Kubish for your EST update.
Two guys and a goalie.
I don't mind analytics. I just don't like when people are like only analytics and only this, and they're like, oh, you can't do that, guy is, and so he's horrible. And I'm like, let's watch the tape, and then let's look at those analytics and say why some of that stuff happened before we make our decisions.
Cass is good in the sheets, the Excel spreadsheets.
I was going to say,
like
Cass, what do you think of analytics? By the way, this episode will be called Cassalytics. Hey, I think it's got to be.
Yeah.
Two guys and a goalie with Gager, Cassian, and Nielsen. Tuesday and Thursdays at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun, laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always The Ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Celebrate the grand opening of Sit and Sleep and discover a revolutionary way to shop for mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, you'll get free local delivery on any mattress over $5.99 and receive a bamboo cooling mattress protector. Get grand opening savings now with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the Association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Just got a question from my dear mother about if you tip Uber. My mom now has the Uber app on her phone, which I put on for her last night.
Yes. You should give her a fake answer.
Yes.
And say
hundreds only.
Yes, it's only a kiss on the left cheek, never the right cheek, Mom.
Yes, my mom. I don't know if they're going to use Uber or get a cab here. They're not driving.
Well, I think you were explaining it to me earlier, and it's it is something that for people of that era and vintage, it's very different than the old way.
A lot of our lives are on here, including sometime. I mean, I see some people pay with tap using their phone.
Yeah,
I
that
still
just
pull out
freaks
my
me
card,
out.
But I do have stuff on here that's just linked to my credit card.
Yeah.
And it just charges you. And mom with the credit card into the Uber, who's going to steal this? Who's going to scam me? And I was like, Mom, it's safe. Like it's okay. It's Uber. They'll just.
Oh, I'm not sure if you can hear that in the background, but Fergie has shown up, and he is tuning his pipes as we speak on the big stage. And Reid, I always make an airplane, and I try hit the camera at the end of the show.
Yes.
If I've got a shot, it's today.
It's
that
4 feet
camera
away.
is like right there.
Feet, maybe. We are
Pressure's
at
on.
the Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater. The ESTYs start at 7:00 tonight. We're going to be honoring some of the great audience members and moments and shows from the first year of Edmonton Sports Talk. We're proud to be on our 11th show, Reid Wilkins show with Jay Milne.
Haven't canceled us yet.
Glad that people are rolling along. I appreciate the stuff in the nasty chat and the text. It's been great to, for me, I guess, have some new audience members and have some people say, "Hey, glad who followed me over from my previous job." Dustin was telling us today. Somebody asked him, "Are you gonna ever have Reid Wilkins fill in on two guys and a goalie?" And Dustin said, "Well, yeah, probably. Sometimes you'll have to." And then this listener said, "Yeah, it's too bad Reid doesn't have his own show anymore." Oh, I'm back. I was only without a show for 6 weeks. When I left the other show, it was pretty quickly announced I had this show. So we're
rolling along,
carving a path.
Nash Osborne wants to know if your mom will be carrying a flask.
No. I won't even say yes jokingly. She would be upset. She will tell you how much she dislikes Austin Matthews, though.
Yes.
She'll have a flask of hatred for Austin Matthews.
I like it. Your mom is just the lore of your mom is just amazing. I love it. Maybe Mother's Day we'll have both our moms on the show.
There's a lot of lore around her.
Hey?
There's a lot of lore around my mom, for sure.
I think my mom would do it.
Okay. I'm not sure my mom would. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So speaking of moms, your wife and family, yesterday were caring for a duckling.
Yes.
And today, less than a day old.
Yes.
And we took some suggestions for names for the duckling.
Yes. All the names that were piling in, they were all taken into consideration. Ultimately, though, the girls have decided on the name of Daisy Duck for this little feathered friend of ours that is currently it's taken over the house. And is it an indoor? Is it a house pet? No. I don't know why this is happening, but there's sometimes in life, Reid, that as a married man of 16 wonderful years, 3 beautiful children, sometimes you just don't ask those questions, and nor do you pry, because it's the way it is. And if it makes my children happy and my wife happy, then who am I to take that joy away?
You're going to have a duck in the house.
Looks like it.
Indefinitely. Where did it sleep last night?
It slept in a tub, like a plastic tub you'd buy from Canadian Tire.
Tub.
Not in the bathtub. No,
Okay.
Just in a tub with towels and food and water, and it's eating very well. It's preening itself. It's a duck. It's the real deal.
It's full on duck.
One thing I did learn is that ducks do not have the capability to pee. Maybe it's a female duck thing. They don't pee. That is why what is expelled from their body is often runny.
Oh, it's all together.
It's all mixed in one bag. And to the
I
people
wish I had that. That'd make
the
things
staff
a lot
that are
easier.
showing up right now to the Metro Cinema at Garneau Theater are wondering, what is this exactly going on here? What are these two men in front of these lights talking about? Well, we are talking about baby duck.
Now, did your family consider any of the names that were suggested by the Nasties on the show yesterday?
Yes. We Duxton Nielsen was scrapped. That was too hard to say. But Quacky Chan was in the was in the running. Ducky McDuckface. My daughters like Ducky McDuckface.
I thought that
no,
changed. Okay,
you could change the words in that word pretty quick and make a really bad word. But
Nash
yes,
Osborne's praying to me for some reason.
It is Daisy Duck. It is. It's going to be. I'll send updates. You know what? We'll do maybe a weekly check-in on.
Oh, I think we'll talk about the duck
Daisy
fairly
Duck.
often.
We'll send the Coob some pictures, and we can.
Eventually, it's going to have to live outside. Do the girls?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
know
Of
that?
course it will.
Okay,
Yeah.
they don't think we're going to have this duck for the next 20 years in the
No.
house.
Because as we learned yesterday, mallards are quite protective of their area and their territory and their ladies. So it's not safe for the little duckling to be around the dad, which is odd. But you know what, Reid? It's nature. And nature wins.
Nature at its
always.
finest.
You cannot get in the way of nature. You can protect it a bit.
Especially a twister.
Well, that is true. But no, honestly, I think we'll, try and bring this. And it's funny because now it follows the girls around the house. And we have a little corgi, Cooper the corgi. They're already meeting, it's a clear tub, but they're meeting face to face with the tub in between.
Wow.
So I could see them creating a relationship as well, which could flourish. I mean, it could be Instagram. If you were an Instagram person and you wanted to take funny, cute animal pictures, it could be your glory. Not me, but my wife has established herself as quite a photog.
Yeah, that was a great picture.
Amazing.
Yesterday.
She doubled it down today. She did it again.
Was there another beautiful duck picture today?
Yeah. Should have sent it to the Coob.
We should have sent it to the Coob.
So, Reid, what are you most looking forward to tonight as we enter into the ESTYs 2024?
I'm just most looking to meeting some of the nasties or re-meeting them. Some of them. Unfortunately, I don't remember everybody from the Nasty Bash. It was a bit of a blur. So just meeting or re-meeting.
Not for any other reason that you were just overwhelmed that night. Like, I think
it's not a memory
yeah.
or alcohol
Right.
issue. It's just there was a lot going on for me, and I was quite overwhelmed with the whole event.
Sure.
So just looking forward to seeing people. I know we were giving Matt a hard time, but just I want him to feel that satisfaction of hard work that paid off. I know that sounds a little sentimental, but it is true. He put a lot into this, and just seeing the whole production. This is a very unique and cool night. This is big picture, big grand thinking by
It's big
Matthew,
picture is right,
which is really cool.
And I'm going to fill you guys in because I know Matthew's not listening now. But Reid and I have the honor of presenting the final ESTY of the night, and we're going to say something that we would normally not say under normal circumstances. But we're going to compliment Matt. We're going to give him his shine and say congratulations. As much as, and I say that in jest, obviously, Matthew is the reason this radio station or this streaming station ticks. He's the guy, he's the man that makes it happen. And once again, he's delivered. He's the hardest working man in sports media at Edmonton, bar none. So kudos to Matthew Iwanyk for putting this on. I mean that sincerely. This is an event that would not be put on without him and his tireless effort. So congrats to him. I'm glad to see it culminating in such a special event, such as the ESTYs.
Is ET Canada still a show? I'd like to know why they aren't covering this major awards event from Easy. Well, maybe they'll show up.
Well, we put out a press release, but
we're going
at this point, it's a little underwhelming.
We're going to change into our suits with ties.
Yes.
So this morning at the office, you asked me, do you know how to tie a tie? And I said, yes. And you said, can you show me? And I started miming it. And I said, I can't. Look, I need a mirror and I need the actual tie. And I have to not think about it.
Look, I know how to tie a tie. It's just mine doesn't look as nice as a Windsor or a half Windsor or what have you.
I don't know what the knots are called, but there are a lot of them.
Mine is kind of a ratty looking knot. So I want your help to make me try be the best I can be tonight. When it comes,
you will be able to tie your own tie perfectly.
Maybe not tonight. I don't want to put the pressure on. I just want to tie.
How often do you wear a tie?
I got as little as possible. You wanting us to wrap
Once
this
a
up,
year,
Matthew?
5 minutes each?
Okay.
Well, I thought we're on until you want us to be done now? That's early.
Yeah, I need to take this equipment in there and set up a
Okay, well, I guess we're the boss is shutting us down early. Okay, and Zach needs to come here. All right, this show was an absolute blast.
Goof ups. We can't forget goof ups.
Oh, we did goof ups.
I said that it was the Greeley University of Northern Carolina. That is not true. It's actually based out of Greeley, North Carolina or North Colorado. I just did it again. And our dearest Zach, he maybe can't chime in at this point. Tuga Tuilailova is a great name, but is not his name. It is Tua Tagovailoa. So to that we will say goof up.
I didn't mark any down, but I'm sure I had several of them. Thanks to Shania and the staff here at Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theater for accommodating us.
And a new PB on likes. We're at 163
we'll
today.
We'll get 200 tomorrow.
We're going to hit 200 tomorrow.
Thanks to Zach Kubish back at the EST studios. ESTYs are at 7. We're going to have a good time. He's Jay. I'm Reid. Thanks for listening.